Yes, good people. Big up to all of you. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the channel, specifically the Blue Morning Show this morning. I hope you're all doing well. As for me, I'm living the blue life because that's all I know have to do how to do. But let's by the way, today we'll talk about a bit of the Chelsea FA issue. We're not gonna spend too much time on that. That's because we have a show scheduled for later today on the other channel where we go into details how the Chelsea, Everton, and Man City cases how they differ. There, I think we still have maybe we'll have other people from other clubs like Everton and Man City join us in that conversation. But despite the way, other than that, we will go into player ratings again. But before we do, sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, welcome back to the Blue Morning Show. I hope you're all doing well, and I sincerely do mean that. As for me, I am doing great. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. But that's why I'm going to say hello to those of you in the chat, and so that we can get into addressing the issues we have lined up immediately. We'll talk a bit of the Chelsea FA case, and then we'll move on from that quickly. That's because we have a show scheduled for later today. Big up to you too, Tope S. I hope you're doing well, Mike and Yam Bro. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I hope to see that happen, but I'm not too sure whether that's going to be the case. Good morning to you too. A lot of people, Meso, I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well, brother. Thank you so much for finding the time to join. Oscar. Nice to see you, Oscar. Big up, bro. And big up to you too, Matthew Lee Benjamin. I haven't seen you in 1,000 years, but that's not to say I'm a vampire. I hope you're doing well. I hope the case is that you've been busy and not that anything wrong has happened. Hopefully you've been busy, and I can understand that because bills don't pay themselves. But nice to see you like the damn video. Yep, I haven't heard that in a while, but nice to see you, Matthew. Give the video a like, people. 9 likes already, but we should be doing better than that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Much love to you too, Matthew Lee Benjamin. I haven't seen you in a while. Let's see what we have here. Oscar, nice to see you once more. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to you too. And a blue board analysis. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Please, if you're watching, if you haven't, go check out Jerry Z's YouTube channel. Yep, it is called the Blue Board Analysis, and believe me, you will thank me later. That is not a joke. Let's see, like the damn video, people. 9 likes. We should be doing better than that. 9 likes. Maybe you need to refresh your page. In the building, GFC Gavin. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join. If you're watching, if you haven't, please go check out Gavin's YouTube channel. He will share the link to his YouTube channel. And believe me, you will like it. And you know, if you won't like it, I will not preach that you go like it. But here's the more importantly, if you're a member of the community and you own a YouTube channel and you're a moderator already, please always feel free to share the link to your YouTube channel so that I can concentrate on hosting the show rather than being the one to remind people to go check out the YouTube channel. But it's all love. Gavin, nice to see you. Let's start addressing the items we have lined up one by one. The first one here is Chelsea saying here, with regards to Chelsea's the possibility of Chelsea signing a centre back in January. This says that the only centre back Chelsea expects to leave in January is Trevor Chalobah. Nothing new there. Chelsea invested big money in Benoit Badiashile, and he is absolutely part of their plans. They are looking at another centre back in the market. That's because we'll be losing two, so it makes sense. And by the time we'll be playing in the European competition and the Premier League plus the cup games, I think we need more centre backs. So it makes sense, and that's Chelsea Dodgers quoting Fabrizio Romano via the YouTube video he made. But that's right. Real quickly before we continue, I want to urge those of you that are watching to please take a second. Drop a like on the video for us. The likes do go a long way. Yeah, you're watching, but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat. We totally understand, but we want to say thank you, and that's because you're watching alone. Thus, go a long way. So we appreciate that. But we urge you to please, if you can, please just take a second, drop a like on the stream for us. It does go a long way. So thank you. Adebayo Makunju, I appreciate you finding the time to join. I hope you're doing well. Pardon me if, again, as you can, I sound like I'm losing my voice. I have to take a sip of my coffee. And quickly, I will announce I will not be in town for, I think, about 5-6 days for the week of Thanksgiving. Then I'll come back. I'll look, I think, what day the Newcastle game. I'll give you the accurate date. Yeah, that's a good coffee right there. So keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes will go a long way. I appreciate you all. Thank you guys for all. Thank you guys for all the subscribers. Yep, please go check out. Gavin has shared the link to his YouTube channel. Go check it out if you have time. And let's say saying 10 likes. Yep, 12 likes already. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. And quickly, Jerry, I want to say hello to you. How are you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well.
Oh, good morning, Coach. Nice to see you back
Nice to see you.
for the Blue Morning Show. Yeah.
If you have anything else to add with regards to Chelsea, the report that Chelsea will look to sign a centre back in January, I'd say why not bring back Bashir Humphreys, but maybe they're looking for a different. They're looking at like a more mature centre back to help lead the back line. That may well be the case, but I'd say Badiashile is capable of doing that, and I think even Axel decides is capable of doing that. But what do you make of the report?
Yeah, I mean, of course, all gossip and rumors at this stage. Of course, we would need to revamp, especially when Thiago Silva will leave. Of course, it's still a question mark, but I see him leaving or probably not be involved if he stays in the next season. So at this moment, I don't see the need. In January, personally, I don't see the need. But maybe in the summer, I would say, because we already have enough at this moment. So if we talk about the signings, then I think attacking offensive player or a striker is more important in my opinion. Again, like in the later show, where we'll analyze the current issues. So a lot of will depend on that as well. So we have to see. I won't mind adding center back at this time, but I think we already have a number of players, especially as Barishil is back. And so Koval can, of course, we also forgot Koval because he's playing as left back. But
yeah, Koval is there too, yeah.
Yeah, he's there as well. So we sometimes think he's left back, but probably Cucurella or when Ben Chilwell will be back, these two will probably will fight for the left back position. So we already have 4 options. So I personally don't see a need in January transfer window.
Yeah, I don't think we need one. If we again, but here's where I have an issue. Bashir Humphreys comes to mind. But the problem I have is this: he's so young. I don't want a situation where we bring him back and then should I say, and then it ends up being a decision that would be detrimental to his development because he's still very young and needs to be playing week in, week out as good as he is. So I'd rather we go with what we have. And rumors are that Wesley Fofana is on the grass. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether he's starting to train with other players or whether he's training alone on the grass. So I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna be too excited because of him. Yep, just quickly, I just saw something I asked you to give me here. Yeah. So what what do you make of the argument for Bashir Humphreys to be brought back? To me, it just doesn't make sense. I think it will be detrimental to his development because he's not going to be starting that often. What do you think, Jerry? See, while you do
Yes,
that, let me
I
add your
concur.
information to the last show, and then update the one I had I have before. So go ahead.
Yeah, I concur. Of course, we don't need a situation where play like previously. Like I'm just giving an example, Hall or Madsen at this moment. We'll have all
Mm-hmm.
these players and they are not playing, so it will not act anything positive because they will be waiting for their position and we invested. So what's the point? Like unless we send them on loan or there is some
Mm-hmm.
other contingency plan that we don't know. So yeah, I mean, I don't see it as a necessity, at least on the face value at this moment. So I think we have to be very careful also with our signings because we know the situation right now as well. Again, like if we don't finish in the Europe, I mean, especially in the Champions League, I know that the calculations that I have done or the data I have is we will not be in the FFP situation because some people think if we don't make the Champions League, we'll be in trouble. But no, the data doesn't indicate that. But the situation of the issue that we all know that Chelsea might face and whatever the consequences will be, that is something that we have to see. Of course, that we will analyze, I think, in the show that we will do tonight, I believe. So I will talk on that. I'm just finishing my research on that, looking in the Everton case. So this is, of course, serious in my opinion, because a lot of similarities between Everton situation, Chelsea, Man City, because they have taken this step on Everton. So I don't know what will happen. That we can only speculate. But this is a tricky situation which Chelsea and both Man City are facing right now.
Yeah, a tricky situation indeed, and the cases differ. You can say in many ways. You can say in Everton's case, it was a blatant disregard of the rules because it was so open, and they went over by 200 and something million plus in terms of how much they're supposed to spend in that year. In Man City's case, they're in denial. They're not agreeing, and they were cooking the books openly and weren't cooperating with the FA. In Chelsea's case, we have new owners. That's one. Uh, you could account the you could go back again and say two. The offenses or the financial irregularities happened under the previous owner. And three, well, Chelsea are upfront about the thing. They saw it and said, "Look, we were self-auditing and we found this, and we thought we should let you know." And I think you could also argue the UEFA has set the precedent in the case of Chelsea. The UEFA say, okay, thank you for letting us know, but you have to pay a fine, and we've addressed that. To me, it differs in so many ways, but we'll talk about that in detail. In that,
Yes, you are absolutely correct, and I totally agree. In
mm,
that context, it differs, but the case is more or less all of the three are same of FFP. So in that
yeah,
situation, we have to see.
all financial offenses.
Yeah, so the cases are the same, more or less the same, but the
Mm.
situation is different. You're correct. Only like an insider or someone who understands the laws that are applicable can tell what happens. That we can only speculate. But you're right. We do have, let's say, a levy or an advantage that we self-reported that.
Yeah, and you could argue Chelsea's case could be called bribery. It could be called bribery because it was done to get, you could say, agents to help convince their players to join us. Um, and I don't know whether how what problem that causes the club. I don't know, but we'll find out. Let's see what happens. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go along. We appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Coach, can I borrow Jerry for a show? You don't need to tell me. I don't own Jerry. I don't employ Jerry. Jerry is just a brother who I met here, and the story is deeper than I'd like to tell everybody here. And yeah, I like nice people. Let me just leave it like that. He has his own channel. Actually, you don't need to tell me whether Bobby. I don't. They're not paid. It's pro bono. These are just guys who love the club, who love to talk football. So take anybody. Just reach out to the person if they agree to join you. Forget about the jokes. You've heard me sharing jokes with Mitchie Boy. It's just a joke saying he's overplaying the players, which means the panelists. The term we use to reference panelists. No, bro, go ahead. Reach out to him on Twitter. If you don't have his Twitter handle, he will reach out to you. So you don't need to tell me. I'm not Jerry's boss. Jerry is his own boss, but just loves to be on Chelsea Perspective. And whenever he starts streaming, whenever I have time, I will be on his channel to reciprocate, if that makes sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along. We appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. A big up to you, JC. Nice to see you. The cases are different. Yep, they're different. Chelsea's case, you could argue more like bribery. Everton's blatant disregard of the financial rules. Man City's they made losses, but they were, you could say, just cooking the books to make it seem as if they're in good shape, whereas they were losing money, and they did that for several years. And whenever the FA asked for them to present something, even there were emails that showed they were doing that. So it differs in so many ways. I think we're not going to get relegated, in my opinion, but we're going to get punished because the FA looks like they're bent on you could say certain certain precedent so that whoever wants to do such in the future will be fearful. The cases are different. But we have a show scheduled with regards to that on the other channel later in the evening. I'm going to share the link to our sister channel, Soccer Perspective, so that if you're not subscribed, there you go and do that. CFC cases is worse, to be honest. Do I think that's the case? That may well be the case, but I don't know. I'm not an expert in that regard, but we'll find out. Hello to you too, Constantine Dantu. Much love to you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show, brother. I hope you're doing well. Chip Chilla, yep, I like that. The losses at Everton happened because they are overpaid for average players, and the players lost value too. Yep, I've done the research too. For average players, and the market value dropped when they had to get rid of many of them. So it's subjective. You could argue it's subjective, yeah. You could argue that. Let's see, but they did even more. I'm not sure. New time again, coach. No, I just had to do it this time because I didn't want to cancel it. No, the Blue Morning Show, whenever it holds, it will always be 3 a.m. PST. Yeah, but the evening show will still remain. There are so many shows designed for Chelsea Perspective. We just need more hosts. In cases of CFC, the club not only bypassed the rules by taking an under the table route of compensations that is much more serious, and the punishment will be higher.
That is a
Here's
very very good
where I
point
think
that
it will not be
Jason made.
higher. Just 1 second. It's just here why I think it will not be much higher. We self-reported the issue, and it happened under the previous owners. I get it. The argument comes into play on it's still the same entity, but we'll find out. I'm not an expert. But in my opinion, I don't think Chelsea's case will be, because the offense will be viewed as higher than that of Everton. But we'll find out anyway. And Chelsea has the money to sue them, and everything. The whole thing will be prolonged. Everton didn't cook books. I didn't say they cooked books. They just blatant disregard. It was there. It's maybe market dynamics, as you're explaining. Maybe if they argue that in the court of law, maybe they will get a much, you could say, linear, much lenient punishment, or maybe a softer punishment, in my opinion, because of wrong subjective valuations. That's not knowingly breaking the rules. Still, get punished hard. A CFC punishment will be harsher. It sounds like it. It sounds like the FA, they're just setting the precedent to say if Everton got punished this much because of what they did, then you're going to be punished. You have to face a much harsher punishment. So it makes sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Where's Mitchie boy? I haven't seen him. Mitchie making the pizza. Jerry, see, you wanted to say something. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
No, I was just acknowledging JC's point that he made a great point over there.
Yeah, he did made it, but it depends. But we don't know how the FA perceive these you can say financial irregularities by the clubs. We'll find out soon. But maybe hopefully they'd be a bit lenient for the fact that we self-reported the issues. But go ahead if you were still talking.
No, sir, I'm done. Thank you.
All right, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Let's see. Did you get any notifications notification that your channel is mentioned? I think you should. Um,
Okay, I'll check.
Self-report is not a solution for playing the rules. Yeah, I agree with you. But chances are, if we didn't report it, they're not gonna even suspect anything. And if you come at us, we'll tell you nothing as such has happened. Yeah, and then we'll go to court. The club will be punished, not Bali. You could say that, but Bolly will make an argument. It's his business, yeah, but it wasn't his when it happened. Everything you can say is subjective, like you said. But let's see what happens. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Jerry, please do let me know whether you got a notification. One, I'll do one more later. I think you should, letting you know that yeah, the Chelsea Perspective mentioned your channel.
Just give me a moment.
Okay. All right, and this is a Bailey. A Bailey, I haven't seen in a while. Good day, coach and panelists. Good day to you too. I hope you're doing well. So let's hope we'll talk about this in detail and just see. Hopefully, you'll have the time to be on the panel for the Soccer Perspective show, 12 p.m. Yep, 12 p.m. PSC. It will be again. We'll have more people on the panel talk about that, and we'll talk about that strictly at the time and Everton's punishment and what's likely to happen to Chelsea Football Club. I don't think relegation will be part of it. I think, for me, I'm going to say this again. I think at most a monetary fine, but that's what I think. It says if anything can be concluded from Everton's punishment, it is that CFC will be punished harder. Everton's case is subjective, and not Chelsea's case. That's finances and legal interpretation for you. Yeah, I think you know what you're talking about. But here's still something else I'm going to say. I think they will consider whether if Chelsea had to report the money that were paid to agents through back doors, whether it could have at the time led to Chelsea losing much more, losing a lot of money, then it will be a much bigger issue. I'm not a financial expert by any stretch of imagination, and you know that already. But we move on. We get into the player ratings. This one here saying, yep, let's just take care of this. This saying Chelsea could face points deduction over FFP breaches. Investigation reveals hidden payments made by Roman when he was a Chelsea owner. Deals involving associates of Antonio Conte and Eden Hazard among those in question. Okay, so yeah, Chelsea's case is more of bribery, in my opinion. I don't think they did it to. They could argue they didn't do it to evade the FFP rules. You can say yeah, but that also could lead to a more severe punishment, but we don't know. We'll find out. And this says that Chelsea could get points deduction if found to have breached Premier League rules. Yeah. And if you want to read more of this, this is on Fort Mob's news panel. You go to Fort Mob's news panel, and then you'll see this particular news item. You read it more detail there to read. But that's by the way, we're moving, Kachila. I will be leaving shortly for the game. Okay, go ahead, go and enjoy it. Modric and Vadio. It's okay. Degree 0 degree. A centigrade. I will be okay. All right. Talk to you later, man. Enjoy the game. Let's see. What is the name of JC's channel? It's called Blue Board Analysis. JC, share the link to your YouTube channel so people can go check it out. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along with. It's not only bribery; it's internationally breaking FFP rules. But in that case, I think actually they've dealt with it with UEFA. They self-reported to UEFA just as they did with the FA and UEFA. I think they're on. You can say was process. They don't go back too many years. So the fine Chelsea was I think 8 something £1 million, and Chelsea have paid that. And I was thinking at the time that they've set the precedent that will the FA will look at that and not probably you can say Chelsea will not be in so much trouble, but we'll find out. I can't jump to that conclusion right now. I don't work for the FA. Let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. So let's move on to the next item. We'll go through the numbers. Chelsea's each department, like assists, tackles won, and all that. I see who's stopping what department. Before we get into rating the players one by one, I think we'll start with Gallagher today because I know how that would be a lot of, you could say, argument involved. There will be a lot of arguments involved in that. Kachila, you're hopefully trying to navigate around the points. The fact is, we are in bad place. Oh yeah, I know that. I've said that 1,000 times. I'm not. That's not what I really what I'm trying to do. I'm not into you can say sweeping things under the rug and hoping it goes so they go away. I'm into tackling things head on and being objective and knowing, yeah, we're going to face some punishment here. The question is, yeah, the size of the punishment we're going to face. But that's by the way, let's look at this. And by the way, CFC Gavin, GFC Gavin, Jersey has shared the link to his YouTube channel. Please go check it out and be sure to subscribe. Let him know I sent you also. Thank you for 16 likes, but I think we should be doing better than that because we're 30 minutes into the show. If you haven't, please take a second to drop a like on the stream. So let's look at this again. Then we'll start with Conor Gallagher once we're done looking at all departments. Top scorer, nothing new there. I'm sure you knew that already. Yep, has 6 goals. Nicholas Jackson, Raheem Sterling 4, Cole Palmer 4 assists. Conor Gallagher with 4 assists. Cole Palmer with 2, and Malo Gusto with 2. I think Malo Gusto's came in a single game. Yep, correct me if I'm wrong. Nicholas Jackson, no need for this one because yeah, assist goes from plus assists. Goals per 90 minutes. Nicholas Jackson 0.64, followed by Cole Palmer 0.60. And Mikhail Mudryk 0.49. And goals plus assists, Nicola, we've looked at that one. That is XG, expected goals. Nicholas Jackson tops that department with 7.8, followed by Cole Palmer with 4.9 and Raheem Sterling 3.1. Yeah, the disparity between the disparity between the 3 top leading players in expected goals is huge. Nicholas Jackson 7.8. That's nearly 4 more than Cole Palmer, who's on 4.9. Then not that many. The disparity between Cole Palmer and Raheem Sterling, not that much, because Cole Palmer is 4.9 and Raheem Sterling is 3.1. Expected XG per 90 minutes, 0.83 for Nicholas Jackson, 0.73 for Cole Palmer. Yeah, 0.47 for Ian Matson, even though he hasn't played that much. Expected goals on target, Nicholas Jackson 7.0. Wow. And Cole Palmer is in 5.6. And let's see, shots on target per 90 minutes. Nicholas Jackson 1.7, Cole Palmer 1.2, and Raheem Sterling 0.7. Shots per 90 minutes, and Nicholas Jackson top was that. With 3.5, Cole Palmer 2.8, and Ian Mason 2.5. And accurate passes per 90 minutes, Axel Desasi 77.2. You could argue that's not that interesting. That doesn't interest me that much. I'll just go with the third man in that department, who's Enzo Fernandez. He has 6.44 because Axel Desasi and Thiago Silva, their passes mainly, you can say, at least more than 50% of their passes during the game are sideways and backwards. So I'm not gonna, that doesn't mean much to me. Big chances created. Cole Palmer has 5 in total. Wow. And Rich James has 5, even though he hasn't played that much. Conor Gallagher has 4. I think he was top in that. Chances created, Conor Gallagher has 19.0 chances in total. And Raheem Sterling, 15 in total. Accurate long balls per 90 minutes. Enzo Fernandez, 5.2. Thiago Silva, 4.3. That's very well. That's not bad. Expected assists, Cole Palmer has 1.9. Raheem Sterling 1.8 and 1.5 from Enzo Fernandez. I think that's it. Successful dribbles. That's the surprising aspect. The worst dribbler at Chelsea right now. At Chelsea right now is leading. He's top, he's leading as our top. He's the most successful dribblers according to the numbers, and
Yes.
that's
So
shocking.
sorry to can I cut you for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Apologize because I'll forget. There's so many things. So when we'll go back, it will be difficult for me to remember everything. So that's why I wanted to say
Hmm.
on the spot. So for Raheem Sterling, it's like he's 2.6. You know, the one who has been who lost his ratio is very less in successful dribbles. But this is
Hmm.
high because Nicholas Jackson hardly tries to do that. Modric, Modric is, we know that he's trying to integrate. He's also not really good at it at all. So Raheem Sterling, although it is 2.6, but you have to see the overall picture. They are the successful dribbles, but how many were unsuccessful? You got the point, right? So the ratio is significant. So because he's being compared to Nico and Modric, so that's why he's on the top. So I'm just giving a different narrative looking at data. Although it's 2.6, but Modric is nowhere near as good right now to do that. Nico Jackson, how you do it? So Raheem Sterling, because he's trying throughout the game. This is one of the things that he loved to do. So it's 2.6 successful dribbles per 90 minutes, but it's like
Hmm.
most of the time it's 6 or 8 times. So he's dispossessed on, like, let's say more than 60-70% of the occasion. So this is very important to also understand when we are talking about this data, in my opinion.
Hmm. So you're comparing the dribble attempt volume to this dribble success. Was that what you were doing? Part of what you were doing there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it makes sense. He attempts to dribbles quite a lot, but I still have to say he's poor in terms of his dribble success rate. So let's move on here. We'll make sure Conor Gallagher is the one open here. Before we continue, I think we have to look at his numbers here. There you go, Conor Gallagher, and we have this here. We're gonna plug his name here. We just go into the most likely starting 11 right now. That's not saying we'll have to you can say not rate other players. We will rate other players.
So,
So
coach,
Conor Gallagher here, let's look at his numbers per 90 minutes. Sorry, were you saying something? Go ahead.
no, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just saying, like, maybe at the end you can review, because of course it's the opinion of everyone in the panel, also the dear audience. So I was
Hmm.
just thinking, as I recall from the first part of this rating, that a lot of people didn't agree with the Sassi. So maybe if you see, I think it's a very high rating for him. So I don't know, we can maybe review that
Yeah,
for the Sassi
We
8.
will go back to review the players we've rated before. So let's look at Conor Gallagher's numbers. We can start with total. Yeah. Yeah, this season he hasn't actually scored a goal. Wow. So goals upon 90 minutes. Let's see in total. It says zero here. Expected goals. Let's go per 90 minutes. Okay, let's go. Goals per 90 minutes still in zeros. Expected goals XG 0.07. Expected goals on target 0.05. Non-penalty XG 0.07. Shots 1.04 per 90 minutes. Not bad. Shots on target 0.52. Not bad. Okay, assist 0.35. He has 4 assists in total, so I'm not shocked that this is high. Expected assists per game per 90 minutes 0.11. Yeah, successful passes are 50.77. That's above 50. Not bad. Per 90 minutes. Pass accuracy 90.7 per 90 minutes. That's not bad actually. Pass accuracy 90.7%, not bad at all. Accurate long balls 1.74. Long ball accuracy 76.9, better than a lot of people per 90 minutes. Let me see that in total. Yeah, it's still fine, but let's go per 90 minutes. So not bad. Chances created 1.6 5 per 90 minutes. That's not bad. I think he's one of our, you could say, top creators in terms of chances created. And successful crosses 0.43. Cross accuracy 29.4. Wow, okay. But that's still 29.4. That's a high volume per game. Possession, successful dribbles 1.13. We all know he's not great at that. Dribble success 76 point per 90 minutes, but not bad. That's not bad really. But even eye test tells you he doesn't. He's not good in that in terms of dribbles. Touches 74.12. at point 12. Again, touches in opposition box 2.0 per 90 minutes. Okay. Dispossessed 0.78 per 90 minutes. Fouls 1.42 per 90 minutes. Defending tackles 1.65. I expected that to be high. He does well. Tackles 1%, 55 above 50. That's fine, really. Dues 6.25, 6.25. Dues 1%, above 50%, 55. That's excellent, excellent, in my opinion. Aerial dues one, yeah, it's not excellent aerially, but still says aerial dues 61.5%. That's a high per 90 minutes. Interceptions 1.65. That's excellent in my opinion. Blocked, recoveries 7.33 per 90 minutes. Wow. Possession one in the final third 1.74. That's a high in my opinion. Yeah, he dribbled past 1.3 times per game. That's, you could argue, compare that to the ratio of um how many times he goes in for tackles and all that. But let's hear you. And if you're in the chat, how would you rate Conor Gallagher's
So if you can,
performance this season so far? Let's hear you after week 12.
if you
Let's hear
can
you.
just
Go
stay on
ahead.
this slide for just a second, because there's so many
Hmm.
stats. Of course, I will talk without looking on it. I just wanted to address something. Then I will give
Hmm.
my analysis, so it will make sense. So if we see uh, the interceptions, possession one in the final third. This is
Hmm.
so important to see when people talk about whatever they have. Of course, everyone has their own opinion, but you see possession one in the final third is very high. Interceptions ratio is quite good, right? So you can see that. So it's not like a coincidence or by accident over the period of all these games that his stats are good. So now let me give my analysis on my one of my favorite players, Conor Gallagher, and I'll be fair. I won't give him a 10. Don't worry. To start with, let me give my rating and then I'll analyze. I'll give him an 8, a solid 8 for this season so far, and my reason are as following. So as we all know, and I also agree, right? It's not that I disagree that Conor Gallagher is not a very technical player, right? If we talk about players with skills, how they can take on the players, be like your Rodri or stuff player like that. But no one has to be like. I mean, not everyone has to be like that. If we see different teams now and in the past,
Hmm.
there are players of these attributes that have all-round game, right? That bring different traits to the equation to the team. So we all know, and most of us who don't like Conor Gallagher also acknowledge that he has improved. So first, I just wanted to make sure, because now I'm trying to have many friends, but not by saying what I don't agree with. But I always say I just want to be clear that I never said he's the most technical or the most skillful player. My appreciation of Gallagher was always that he has improved significantly. If we see all of the players from before the start of the kickoff against Liverpool to this game, he is the most improved player. And as a fan and as an analyst, I just support him and appreciate him for that. That is all. Of course, he's still not the most technical, skillful player, and he might never be, right? But his improvement is tremendous. And just to give a perspective of why he is instrumental, I just don't want to say, because of course I always want to give a reason and why. Maybe it's right or wrong, but I always want to give my narrative with the reasoning, so it's not just an opinion, right? So if you see, he's playing with Conor Gallagher. Oh, sorry, Conor Gallagher is playing with Enzo and Caicedo. Caicedo is defensive midfielder. Enzo is also like mostly involved in the defense. We can see that he's not as of yet so effective in the attack. So a player like Gallagher can be pivotal in the midfield. Even though his primarily is not technically, his attributes such as being quick, which is criticized, and covering a lot of ground is his most important asset, make him valuable in specific roles.
Hmm.
Pressing and energy is one of those attributes. Gallagher quickness and work rate allow him to press opponents effectively, as this we can see in the stat, disrupting their build-up play, right? So that we don't get with Enzo and Caicedo. So when we have a midfield of these three, that is where the role of I'm just trying to explain my opinion that why
No,
he
I'm
is
with you. Yeah, go ahead.
box to box movement, right? If we see his ability to cover a lot of ground, which is his biggest criticism, which I don't agree. I think this is his strength that makes him unique and very effective in the midfield. So his ability to cover the ground makes him effective, right? He can contribute defensively in his own half and quickly transition to support attacks in the opponent half, which we see in these stats as well, which Enzo and Caicedo don't do that. So his role is very different in that regard. It's unique. He complements, and that is the reason why it's so effective. So I'm just giving my reasoning for that. So ball recovery, as also we have seen in the stats, right? His work rate can lead to ball recoveries in advanced positions. In the final third, he has recovered the most number of balls any player from Chelsea, right? So the road running is actually his uh, biggest strength, which he has done so effectively, right?
Yeah,
Late
that's like
runs
you say.
into the box.
That's what defines his profile. You can say predominantly the sort of player he is his energy, his industry, for lack of a better language. But go ahead with
Absolutely.
what you were saying.
And I was just trying to cover up with stats data and with examples that it is effective. It's not like a useless kind of run.
Hmm.
It's very effective. At least what I see, what I analyze, and what I observe. Late runs in the box, as we have talked, like he has even though he's not technically gifted. Again, we know his athleticism allow him to make later runs in the box. The element of unpredictability can result in goal scoring opportunities. Yes, the only not criticism, it's the general play because we have played against low block, we have suffered. So it's not just Gallagher. Most of the midfielders, they are not getting the opportunities. So you can see, of course, he need to score or get more involved in the attack. But we also have to understand that only in the last 2 or 3 games he's playing more in the advanced role. He was playing very deep, which which most of us didn't agree with. Now he's playing more in a natural position, so that will come, I'm sure, right? So we link up play again. Despite not being technical, he can serve up as a link up play both between defense and attacking phases, which and Caicedo and Enzo have not done so far. And they are, I will say, that's not their strength, right? So this is what Gallagher is doing his part. His speed and energy allow for quick transitions, right? So he has a very defined role in this Chelsea team. It's very meaningful in my opinion. With two defensive midfielders, especially Caicedo, Gallagher has the freedom to contribute more to attacks. Right, his role becomes pivotal in different areas of the field. So this is my. Analysis of Gallagher, and he has done very well. He has improved significantly. Yes, he's still not the most technical and God gifted, if it's the right word, player. He might never be, but what he has and his role, as I explained in with few examples, is important, and he has done it tremendously. So that's what I would like to say, and for that reason, I give him an 8.
Yeah, in my yes, and I haven't rated him. I'll wait, but I'll say this. And I think I've said this 1,000 times actually. As much as I don't think, he is. You can say Chelsea's. He's not. You say as long as I've said it 1,000 times. He's not one of my favorite players at Chelsea. I think he's improved so much that you could argue has actually become uh, the manager's most important player. And I had to go to the extent of betting against my friend and brother just as the last time we talked about him and say if Gallagher doesn't start, I'll do $100 giveaway. As long as he's fit, he starts. Until proven otherwise. You know, that's just my opinion. But let's catch up with what we have in the chat here. I thought it was you were coming late and miss Gallagher's conversation. Okay, JC, see you later, bro. And I'm not going to be going back and forth topic now. I want to change that so that whenever we're going to be on the topic, we're going to be on the topic. But I know your contributions are always awesome, and I've seen that myself. Let's see what else we have here. I'm getting ahead of already. Are you really? Without clubs like Chelsea, that's because I haven't read any of your comments today. We've moved on beyond that topic, and I've shared the link to our other channel, Soccer Perspective. If you're not subscribed to Soccer Perspective, do that now. We'll have an in-depth analysis of the whole situation, talk about how the cases differ. And what sort of punishment we believe Chelsea will face, given the way they've gone about the whole thing and the fact we'll have new owners. And Man City's case, eventually the hammer will land on them. They can prolong it all they want. Without clubs like Chelsea, English league will look very small to the German league. Only Bayern on top. You can argue that. And here's the link to the show. Everton, Man City cases. How do they differ? Please click through the link there. If you click through the link, get to the channel. Be sure to subscribe to Soccer Perspective. That's our sister channel. Be sure to subscribe to Soccer Perspective and also drop a like on this particular video that I've shared the link on your screen for you, where we will talk about it, how the case differ. We'll do an analysis on that. And this here is saying, I don't see Gallagher. I don't see Gallagher improved. Depends how you look at it. I think he's improved in all honesty, but that's just my opinion, and you're entitled to your own opinion. Yes, then, and we can actually talk about him without saying anybody's talking nonsense. Yes, then. Gallagher has improved. He's looked more confident on the ball. He's actually, especially go watch the Man City game too. Yep, go watch it. His turns picks up good passes. He actually has good passing range in him, in my opinion. And I think the more he plays with with this particular 11, with us, plays with this squad, and the longer he stays in the team, the better he becomes. And the manager likes him. I get it. People have made comparisons with regards to whenever Lavia comes back, Gallagher will be out of the team. I don't think so. I think the most that will happen, but still, that's my opinion, is that they will start rotating. But even if that, Lavia cannot offer what Gallagher offers, and the case is vice versa. Gallagher cannot also offer what Lavia can offer to the club, but that's just my opinion. Let me finish this. At Crystal Palace, he was better than at Chelsea. This season is better than last year at Chelsea. Yeah, you could argue that, but we haven't seen. You could say we haven't seen in terms of maybe no. I think the last game you could argue against Manchester City. I've never seen him play that good, even at Crystal Palace. At Crystal Palace, he was excellent throughout the season. At Crystal Palace, it wasn't as if you could say it wasn't as if yeah, you could say that sort of moment you see from players. Today they are informed, tomorrow they are awful. But at Crystal Palace, he was excellent for them throughout the season, probably because he played on the right, he played on the flanks throughout the season. But when he came back to Chelsea, the managers were experimenting with him. He didn't place consistently in a particular position. Today he plays in a deeper position. Tomorrow he plays as a 10, and then the next he plays as in the right wing position. I think that has been one of the reasons why you could argue he did not for a while be at his best. But right now, I think he's improving. He's adapting to whatever role the manager played him in. Against Manchester City, actually, he was better centrally than he was playing on the flanks. And after saying all these praises coming from me, I'd still let you know he's not one of my favorite Chelsea players at all. But you have to give credit where one is due, in my opinion. But good comment there. Yeah, he was excellent at Crystal Palace, and there's a time you can say I don't know whether I agree. You can say he hasn't shown the sort of form he showed at Crystal Palace. I'd say he's actually playing better. Yeah, but maybe not. You can say not. Let's just leave it at yeah. He's playing better right now, and he's improved. He's become a better player than he was when he was on loan at Crystal Palace. Big up to you too, Tommy Bryan. Nice to see you. He says Gallagher has curved my enthusiasm, but hasn't yet won my confidence. If he's still a Gala dog by the end of the season, I say give him a contract. His thing, I think he gets a contract, whether he's staying or whether he's leaving. I think the club will offer him a contract. And that's down to the fact because if they decide to sell him so that they get a sizable fee from his sale. But do I think he leaves? I don't think he leaves, in my opinion. Except if the whole thing we'll start seeing it maybe if the whole thing comes down to him not accepting the contract offer that the club we don't know will offer him. But we'll find out. Hopefully, whatever happens, I'm fine. If he stays, I'm fine because it's a good player in him and he can only get player. If he leaves, I'm not going to complain too much. We're loaded in that department, but I'm going to let you know this. In terms of his industry and commitment on the pitch, I don't think we'll have any other player that will measure him in those aspects. Gallagher's style suits when we play against a top six sides. In contrast, when trying to open low blocks, we need more technically gifted players and more creativity. I agree, and I thought you were gone, JC. That's not Gallagher so far. In perspective, CFC yet to break low block. That's an important point you made there. But still, he at least he has something. You agree that when we play against top six, where there are spaces for him to exploit, he do well. Yeah, if he's going to play in a 10 against low blocks, we need a 10 or even players on the right wing or left wing. Everything depends on the structure. We need players that are more creative, that can take on players, beat them, and find solutions in tight spaces. I get it. That's not his strongest suit. But boy, he's improved. So I agree. At least you recognize that he can be of great use for us. So who drops off on Nkunku Jackson? I don't know. It's up to the manager. And the truth remains, no player will go, you can say, will go the whole season without missing games. The manager can rotate. Yeah. And Nkunku and Jackson can actually play in the same game. Yeah, one of them playing on Nkunku can play on the flanks too. He can also play as a 10, but I don't think he'd be as effective again in the number 10 position when he plays on the flanks or plays as a number 9 because we've seen that. And the last time the manager tried to play him as a 10 during preseason, he looked lost. But that's just my opinion. He was great in the big games because of that pressing, but against lower blocks, he cannot create or do much. That's a solid argument, but and that's the game. You can say the entire team will struggle. So here's my argument: with the team as a unit, we do struggle. Chelsea we do struggle against low blocks, and so we're not just going to pin it on Gallagher alone. It's an issue that we struggle to find a way to deal with, and it's that started, you can say, 3-4 years ago. It's nothing new. But at least you agree he's been effective against you can say the top six sides, not just not just pressing. He's created chances. He has 4 assists to his name. Yeah. And let's go back there again. Where is it? Where is it again? Gallagher has 4 assists. Where is it? Yep. And chances created. He's created 19 chances in total, 4 more than the second person on that particular in that particular table. Raheem Sterling is second. Third is Cole Palmer, and it's looking like Cole Palmer will surpass him soon because he has 14 already in much fewer games than Gallagher has played for us since the start of the season. But the point is, we have to actually put some respect on his name, even if you don't think it's that good, or you could say technically inept, or maybe you have to agree. Yeah, that's the bar. And given the bar, he's one of our top performers this season so far, given the numbers here. And he tops in chances created, big chances created. I think his second there. Where is it? Big chances created. Where is it? Let me find it. Yep, assists. He's topping with 4 in total, actually. And he's created 19 chances in total. Big chances created. He's a third now because Cole Palmer has surpassed him, and Rhys James has also surpassed him probably during the last game. So my point is, we have to admit I think he's improved in my opinion. But let's see what else we have here. Yeah, he should get out of here, all right. He said bye 10 times. So you don't see Jackson or Gallagher getting dropped. His thing, we don't know Mauricio Pochettino that much. There's no pattern you can say to with regards to how he selects players. We need more time, and that's because we still have players injured. Until those players come back, we'll see what he does in a few games. That's when you can say you look back and say, okay, he did this at the other time and did this at this time. So this is what he's most likely to do. Right now, you can't say that. And Jackson, yeah, he's starting to score, so you can't say it once Nkunku comes back, he's gonna drop Jackson to start Nkunku. No, you can't say that. So we're not too sure what the manager does until he does. There's no way predicting what happens. Yeah, you can also say if Nkunku comes back, he drops Sterling to start him. So you can also argue, that there's no chance he drops Gallagher just because Nkunku is back until it happens. That's when you say, okay, yeah, since this has happened, which means Gallagher's playing time will be limited. But there's no way to say that will be the case. Palmer is a guaranteed a starter, and Sterling is the most senior player. Being the most senior player there isn't a guarantee. He's not. He's been the most inconsistent. Let's see it from another light. But like I said, everything depends on what the manager does when we have all the players back from injury. That's what will tell us what he's going to do going forward. At one point, it took us time to realize that Ben Chilwell isn't a guaranteed striker, a guaranteed starter until he dropped him on the bench twice. Yeah, something like that is what it would take for us to say, okay, yeah, look what he does next. But we'll find out. Do we play more top teams or mid-lower teams? This is why I'm good at playing him in big games, but rest games not so for me. A squad player to see out games. That's how you see it. Yeah. In your opinion. Let's see. 7 for Gallagher for me. I'd go with 7.5. Yeah, 7.5, not bad. We're still not on point with goals. Gallagher has improved, but he's not a very effective against low blocks. That is something you can say, which makes sense given his, you can say, the level of his technical ability. He has some. Do I think maybe he's improved and some? You can say sometime in the future become a much better dribbler than he is right now. No, if anything, he's gained more experience, and I think I'm still going to say that he has a place in this team. So I'm going with 7.5. But let's hear Bobby. Bobby, let's hear your rating up for Conor Gallagher, and thank you for finding the time to join us on the panel. More importantly, I hope you're doing well. But let's hear you.
Yeah, guys. Yeah. I wish I'd known when you were actually going to do this program. I stumbled upon it by accident.
Yeah, no, you
But
haven't
wow.
missed anything. Do you have notification turned
But
on?
yes, I do all that, but
Hmm.
sometimes it's good to get a heads up as one of your panelists, because then notification turned on doesn't help when I'm in the middle of something. So anyway, it's all good, my brother. Look,
Yeah.
look, Conor Gallagher. I mean, what haven't I said about Conor Gallagher? From the season last season, that was his first proper season back at Chelsea after loans. That was a mess season. He was surrounded by players that didn't want to be at the club. To this
Hmm.
season, where his true potential is being utilized, his development is being allowed, and he's finding his place. Before I continue, I have to say that I 100% believe that now Conor Gallagher is very, very, very much and should be a part of this Chelsea squad going forward. He is a Chelsea player. He's earned his place. Now, why has he earned his place? Look, we have had some great midfielders. Claude Makaleli at Real Madrid was more or less chased out of Real Madrid by the Real Madrid fans. Why? They were used to seeing Galacticos and never understood this guy that was just a destroyer in the middle of the field, couldn't score goals, couldn't carry the ball forward, nothing. And so they became impatient with him, hounded him, criticized him till the club got rid of him, and then they regretted it because they saw what he was about. N'Golo Kante, one of the greatest midfielders in the world, not to mention at Chelsea.
Hmm.
When he first came to Chelsea, all he was a destroyer. He couldn't really do much at the top of the field. N'Golo Kante developed, and it was only in his late 20s to his 30s that he became a player that not only being a destroyer, he was able to be a little bit more creative. He never was one that you could rely on for goal scoring in particular. And there he was, full of energy, um, crucial in winning the ball and keeping the control of the game for the team. That's what he brought. Conor Gallagher, full of energy, a ball winner, he's developing his creative skills, and he's a goal scorer. Definitely, that is a game that is part of his itinerary that has always been there. But what do Chelsea fans do? Moan. They moan and complain because they don't understand football. They don't understand the ingredients of a great team. What has happened is that a lot of the fans have been spoon fed. Yes, we have people, there's one particular person, I won't mention her name. She makes me laugh, and she's actually the person that has made me go against all this. Oh, yeah, everybody should have an opinion. Yeah, it's okay. And truly, everybody should and does have an opinion. But when you're talking nonsense and foolishly, it is an opinion to point it out. And, we don't have to sit back and listen to absolute trollop just because it comes out of your mouth. And this particular person, that's the issue I have with them. I won't say who it is. I have no intention of doing that. But this is a sort of generic statement. Now, Connor, Connor himself has earned his place. He's earned his right to develop in this team. He's valuable to this team, whether we plays, whether he's technically gifted or not. I remember the Brazilian World Cup winning team of, was it 2006 or was it 2010 or one of the earlier World Cups in the 2000s won by Brazil. They had a midfielder that was very similar to Conor Gallagher, actually, with all the talented players in that team. Donga was there in the middle wearing the captain's armband, not as technically gifted as the rest of the team, but was very useful because he was a ball winner. This is what the ingredients of a team looks like. I'll go slightly biblical. A body has different parts, but every part of the body is useful. You have your toe, your small toe cut off, and you will understand how useful it is to your functionality. This is what Connor and a lot of these players bring to the table of a successful team. He is a functional player. Every successful team needs a functional player, as well as the flair players and the skillful players and the goal scoring experts and so on. You go without that functional player and you will suffer as a team. He does the beauty of our midfield is that whether by default or design, we have a bunch of midfielders that bring in something different. Caicedo, I would say the closest to an improved, and boy, do I say this carefully, an improved form of N'Golo Kante. He's unique in his own functionality in that midfield. Enzo Caicedo, also unique in his functionality in that midfield. Romeo Lavia, when he's fit, he is unique in his functionality in that midfield. Leslie Ugochukwu, he's the only defensive midfield specialist, making him unique in his functionality. Conor Gallagher, the same thing. They are all unique. And if you're making a beef stew or whatever dish you're making, you have different ingredients. And what the coach Pochettino has to do is put all these ingredients together, add the seasoning, and cook and come up with a beautiful dish. Connor is part of that ingredients. I think he's a wonderful player. He did well in his England call up last night. He showed his qualities. I don't look for him to do what Jude Bellingham does. No, I look for him to do what Conor Gallagher does. And Connor has to be in a team that is overall functional. He's a team player. He's not an individual. He's not that player that can change a game or can totally carry the team like Reece James. No, that's not his makeup. His makeup is part of the machinery, but a very, very important function in the machinery that keeps the machine and the engine ticking. So for me, we're rating Gallagher. I give him an absolute 8 out of 10 going forward. And I'm sure as he develops more and people start to appreciate him more, his ratings will increase. That's all I have to say about Connor.
Yeah, much appreciated. And yeah, what's your rating? We're gonna wait. I'm gonna leave the poll that asks the question Conor Gallagher after week 12 to see where that ends. 7 was leading, and now it's down to how many percent? 29% thinks it's a 6, but I'll leave it there for a while. But what's your rating, Bobby? Let's hear you.
Conor Gallagher, 8. Solid,
8 for you. Okay.
solid 8.
Okay, for me, I'll say 7.5. But let's see what those in the chat rating. All our starting midfielders are 7. In your opinion, glad to see that. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Bobby back at it's insulting everyone. No, I don't think he did that, but I get where you're coming from. When Gallagher becomes the next Kante, I will readjust. For the moment, I leave in present. That's a speaking sense and not nonsense streamline. Let's see what else we have here. CFC Blue saying
just a quick one. Much love to Constantin Dante. I love the way Coach calls his name. In fact, it's becoming a sort of catchphrase of this program. So, you got your place, brother. Love you.
Yep, much love. We're here to have a conversation. Yep. CFC Blue saying the person before Bobby explained it to the core. Gallagher's job. Gallagher's job. 1 second, please. This says the person before Bobby explained it to the core. Gallagher's job is different. I think that's an excellent way to put it. From Enzo's and Casados and even Labia, none of those guys, you could say, are as hardworking as Gallagher. And the numbers don't lie. He's actually, you could argue in some sense, he's done better than them. And when you complain about us not being able, Gallagher not being effective against low blocks, none of our current players have been effective against low block teams that defend deep. So that's why, even though I'll let you know he's not one of my favorite Chelsea players, I still come to his defense in terms of if you're arguing, singling him out for not being effective against low blocks. Yeah, Enzo haven't been. Casado also has not been effective against low blocks. Name any player there. Yeah, that's been effective against low block teams until that changes. He helps a lot in moving from defense to attack and getting the ball back. Unfortunately, I think nobody gives him much credit in terms of that. And quickly, we're starting to stream to do more shows, especially it's going to be once every week. That's before the Premier League kicks off. And we're going to start doing that for other leagues too, but differently. Please go and subscribe to our sister channel. It's called Soccer Perspective. The link is there. We're at 900 and how many subscribers? 900 and Soccer Perspective has 928 subscribers. Let's try and get it to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Did a lot during the World Cup. That's how I got it to nearly 1,000 subscribers at the time. But just by the way, go check it out and be sure to subscribe. Responding to you're having a conversation there, comparing a winning World Cup Dunga Brazil captain to Gallagher. My God, Bobby, now that's insulting. Here's the thing. No, I think what Bobby referenced how Dunga differed from all his teammates at the time. Yeah, exactly. How he was different. Not that his Gallagher is like him. I think you're the one concluding that he compared him to Gallagher. I understood that was what you meant to type. World Cup of winning captain. After that, only an 8 You thought he was gonna give him rating 15.
Wow, Constantine Dante is really after me today upon all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
love I've been throwing at him, and he's coming for me today. You know,
Oh
what
yeah.
I said was, if you look at Dunga in comparison to the absolutely exceptional players around him, he was bang average. He was just a ball winner. And he was part of the function and the secret to the success, and indeed that Brazilian team winning the World Cup. And he wore the captain's armband in that capacity. That's the point I'm making. But simplifying it and making it a direct comparison is just because you want to have a go at me. But I just have love for you, Constantine
No,
Dante.
it's not in a
I
bad way. I
like
think
how,
we're just having a good conversation here.
yeah, of course, of
It's not
course.
in a
You know,
bad way.
I
And if
have
you
love
read
for
this one
him.
on the screen, yeah.
I
Look
like
at
the
what he
way
says
you
now.
call his name.
Yeah, Constantine Dante. And
Yeah, yeah.
look
He's
what he
all
says
right.
now, Bobby. He's saying after all you've said, you only rate him 8. So that shows you he's just being played. That's who he is, and I'm sure you know him very well.
Yep.
And he says here, yeah, that shocked me too. I thought Bobby was going to go for a 10. I have to
Well,
be honest. Lord Dante.
in a
Mhm.
way, I overdid it because I'm always defending this kid. And I gave him an 8. An 8 is even quite a high mark rating, to be, if I'm brutally honest. The reason I rated Connor 8 was because of the level of his improvement, and because in my mind, I think he needs our encouragement. He's that kind of player. He's not listening to everything being said about him, but I think too much negativity is said about a player who has shown us his desire to play for us, who is trying so hard to improve us and improve himself. To me, that's good enough. I don't want a team full of Lionel Messis because that gets you nowhere. We need the odd Conor Gallagher in a team to be successful. That's my
Mhm.
point.
And here's thing, Bobby. Here's thing. Your rating for Conor Gallagher shows it's not you. You don't have an agenda for him. You're just being truthful. The fact that he's different, he offers something different, and the manager values that. And you think he's important too, even though. And I've heard you say before that he's not the most technically gifted, and you agree. But the fact remains, what he brings to the table. I think no other player at this point in our particular crop, given within the particular the crop of players we have right now can offer such his industry, his commitment, and the numbers don't lie. And I have to give you credit for being objective. It's not an agenda. You had it been an agenda, I think you'd go for a 10. And you've always said, look, you actually referenced the case of Dunga. He wasn't the most technically gifted at the time, but he was very important. I think Constantine understands your point, and that's why he joked, said after all you said, you gave him just an 8. He was waiting for a 12. Bobby, it looks like you wanted to say something else before we move on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know that, I'm what you call Chelsea excessive. I'm so blue, it's ridiculous. But in the same way, I'm realistic. I don't when Chelsea do something really stupid, I come out and say so. When Chelsea don't have my confidence, I come out and say so. I like to believe that I don't particularly have agendas because I look for players that are serving the club. I don't care where you're from, I don't care what you look like. You just have to be Chelsea, and then you have my support. And I see that in Conor Gallagher. That's why I stand behind him so much, as I do most of the team. It's rare you'll find me attack a team. I mean, crikey, I defended Kai Havertz. Trust me, that wasn't an easy thing to do because many times Kai Havertz was playing absolute pants, but I still stood by him. So until it was unbearable. So,
Yeah, I'm just sure
definitely
nobody's taking anything personal here. That's why we're here.
no,
If we all agree, we don't have a show. I'm just happy
no.
nobody's taking anything personal. Go ahead, Bobby.
No, I mean that's just it. I don't even have to explain it. No,
Yeah.
Constant is good. He's right to have a. He's one of the few people that when they have a go at me, I don't really take it as anything because I see his point, and I know who he is. He's a regular on the show. He's always in the chat. He says a lot of Chelsea things, and he is a Chelsea person. He's almost as blue as I am. So I've got no beef with that at all,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, we will Sunday measure who's more blue one than the other, but not today. But I know you didn't say that. That's just me pulling your legs. The blue bug, the analogy you always use. An 8 is fair. Oh, Kevin thinks an 8 is fair. I'm gonna leave it to those in the chat. I'm gonna leave that poll up for a while. Let's see what else we have here. All good, Bobby. Much love. I think Bobby knows. That was why he actually responded before saying, "Yeah, it's all love," and he laughed. 7.5 or 8. I went for 7.5. Gallagher earned it. Bobby came with a violence today. No, 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 no. But I like the way we have conversations here. The love is actually good. Yep, how we joke, how the terms we use, everybody understands. That's how we roll here. It's all joke today. I don't think we all disagreed with you, but we still have a low ball situation to resolve, and that may require dropping a midfielder. Here's the thing. Yep. It may require that. It may require that we get somebody more creative, a dazzler, a better dribbler, even than
Comment on
Raheem
that.
Sterling. We need that. Yeah, go ahead,
Can I
Bobby.
drop a comment on that
Yeah, go
about
ahead.
the low ball situation, or rather low block situation? I think he
Hmm.
meant. Um, Coach, people say we struggle with a low block. I beg to differ. I think Chelsea struggle with a fit team. We don't have the team, the artillery within our box to use to defeat the low block. This is why sometimes you need those players to call upon to rotate, if you like, in
Hmm.
order to play certain teams. And we've been starved of that for years because of the list of players on our injury table. Hopefully, when especially the offensive players, hopefully when the likes of Carney, Nkunku, even Lavia has a way of playing offensively, and he's very good at close control. And Lavia coming back, we will have a more realistic reflection of how we deal with low blocks. I think at the moment it's a matter of personnel and not a matter of team, even tactics. It's not even a matter of tactics, in my opinion, right now.
Yeah, I think I have to research that again, whether that has changed or whether another thing that comes to mind, whether the our biggest issue against those teams have, or you could say has always been that we've not been clinical in front of we've not been clinical. That may well be the case because how many games have we played this season not winning on XG, which means the credit and good enough chances but weren't clinical in those games. But we'll find out. I don't know Dunga. I don't know him. I've heard the name before, and if you say Dunga, I'd say yes, he played for Brazil. How good was he? I don't know. But he's saying Dunga is also technical, a technical player, amazing passer as well for DM. So no comparison for you. Okay, yeah. Um, let's see, Coach. Don't use the A word. What A word did I use? Okay. 7.5 for A for Gallagher earned it. I think you have that twice, and I've read that. Markin Newman is saying, I have no problem with Gallagher and Enzo playing so much, but that's a bit toxic. Other midfielders need to also have chances to prove themselves. We're not saying that's not going to be the case. And if you joined the show earlier on time today, we talked about it, and I did say, me in particular, specifically did say that we're not too sure what the manager is going to do. Will Lavia play? Oh yeah, he's a fine player. He's an excellent player. And if I have to choose between Lavia and Gallagher, I choose Gallagher. But if I have the opportunity to play them both, I'll play them both because what Gallagher can offer, Lavia cannot offer, and vice versa. But if I have to choose just one of them, I've told you who are the player that I'd go for. But here's the thing: until we'll have all the players available for selection, we cannot tell who drops out for who until the manager makes he say chooses his starting 11 when all the players are back from injury, and then we'll have a good idea what the manager will most likely do next. Right now, there's no pattern to what the manager does. no pattern to what Mauricio Pochettino does every game. Things change here and there, especially you could say argue in defensive area, also the attacking area, the midfield area. Yeah, we're quite sure Enzo starts, Casado starts. In the attacking area, things could change in the future, but we don't know how until it happens. But Neum, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join us this morning. Big up to you too. I don't like you, man. Mitchell. Yeah. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed to Mitchell Boy's YouTube channel, you don't know what you're missing. And I've said this 1,000 times. If you enjoy listening to the panelists here, Bobby, Jerry Z, and me, and also Roger Dodger, let me not miss that. Then you will enjoy watching live shows on Mitchell Boy's YouTube channel, and you will thank me later. Please go subscribe. Let's help him get to 2,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And also, the link to our sister channel, Soccer Perspective, is pinned at the very top of the chat window. Go check it out. Be sure to subscribe and help us get to 1,000 in that particular YouTube channel. And we have a show scheduled for later today where we'll talk about the difference between the Everton, Manchester City, and Chelsea FA cases, how they differ. And but nice to see you, Mitchell Boy, once more. Who is the player, Casado or Gallagher, if you need to drop who out of the two? You're getting technical right now. I would. It depends. Yes, then let me just leave it at this. Since you're trying to trick me into a corner, you're trying to corner me. It depends on all the players I have on the pitch. Yeah, it depends on all the players I have on the pitch. If I already have Enzo, then Gallagher will suffice because here's the thing: Casado is not as energetic as Gallagher. Yeah. So it depends on other players because remember, for a game you have 11 players, and for you to dropping either of these two players, you'd be stupid not to consider other players you have on the pitch. Let's just leave it at that. But even saying that I'm going to drop one for the other right now doesn't really make sense. I'd have to take a look at, okay, I have 10 players, and who are what again? I would have to look at the makeup of the 10 players I have already to decide, okay, what sort of player am I missing? Am I missing energy in the midfield? Am I missing a ball winner in the midfield area? Do I need a ball winner, or do I need a sitter who will protect the defense? So the decision of whether to drop Casado or Gallagher comes down to the other 10 players. Let me just leave it at that. If that makes sense, since you're trying to corner me. Bobby Bobby Smokes, hi pal. Can you can you please say his name fully? Because Bobby Smokes sounds like he's smoking something. Kevin here saying if you look at Gallagher's
That's funny.
performances this season, he's easily our best player. That's a solid argument, really. If we're going by the fact that he's created the most chances, 19 in total. If we're going by the fact he's a top assist, 4 in total. There are all there are big chances created. I think he's a second, third now on the table because I think Cole Palmer is leading in that department, followed by Reece James and then Conor Gallagher. Yeah, you could argue he's arguably our best player so far this season, in my opinion. Sorry, the sneeze is coming. I'm not sure it's hanging up there. Let's see what else we have here. Our midfield remains the problem, but we play the same players. Sounds like insanity. Yeah. What what do you expect again? What do you? I don't think the manager has at this point has the luxury to do anything differently. Yeah, he just doesn't have the luxury to do anything different, in my opinion. But that's by the way. We'll move on. It's Mitchell Boy saying hello to everybody one by one. So let's move to the next player. The Gallagher poll will stay there for a while. It's gone to a 7 right now. But if there's any need, if we have the need to use the poll, then I'll shut it down. Gallagher right now, let's see how many votes. If we have enough sample size there, 23 votes. You could argue that's enough sample size. Yep, and it's a 7 by it's 35% thinks a 7. Yep. is the most fitting for Gallagher. 26% thinks a 6, and 22% thinks an 8, and 17% thinks a 9. Let's just give it more time and see what happens. You can say the closest to a 7 is 26%, which is yeah, a 6. So, but more people, 35% wants thinks a 7 is a fitting, would be the most fitting. You can say a fitting. Yeah, the most correct rating for Conor Gallagher. But we'll find out. Let's give it more time. Please subscribe to go check out Jude's YouTube channel, CFC Jingle. Let's help him get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Uh, Lots of good you can say educational content there with Chelsea. You can say more of Chelsea history and all that, but you will enjoy the content, believe me, and you will thank me later. But that's by the way, Jude, nice to see you, by the way. I hope you're doing well. Let's go for I think we'll have to start with Raheem Sterling here. I'm gonna go for Sterling. For me, this season too, I think he's been one of our best performers in terms of he's been. I get it. He's not the most consistent, but he's done well this season. He's only struggled when the entire team struggled. Even in some cases, when the entire team struggled, he was he emerged as our standout performer in those games. So for me, I still as much as I think he's not been performing consistently, I'll give Raheem Sterling I'll go for 7.5 in my opinion. But let's see how you Bobby, what do you make of Raheem Sterling? What do you think? How would you rate his performance so far this season?
Well, do you know that Raheem Sterling is a difficult one? Raheem Sterling was a player that angered me greatly in the beginning of the season, when we had all those injuries, and I was looking for more from him. You know, he is somebody that, with his wages, with his experience and his profile, that I did expect to be able to carry the team, much like Reece James can and often does. But, you know, to be fair, in the past, maybe two, three games, maybe four games, not quite consecutively, but games significantly, Raheem has done all right. And certainly against Man City, he played like a demon. Against Spurs, he certainly didn't go missing. He played very well. Liverpool, he showed up. West Ham was disappointed. You know, there have been those games. Are they consistent enough? Well, time will tell. He needs to have a whole season like that. So, if I'm to rate Raheem Sterling, if you'd asked
Mhm.
me that a few months ago, I would have said 5 and below. But now I'll give him a 7 and maybe even a 7.5. I wouldn't flinch from that. I wouldn't quite go into the 8 territory because he hasn't given us enough of those qualities. But I think it's coming with him. I really do. Especially when the team gets to play better, I think we'll see a better and more improved Raheem Sterling. So for now, I'm giving him 7.
I think I agree with you. He just seemed, it seems again like the sort of player. The more where he has, the better he'd become. I think we did talk about that a few 2 days ago. Yeah, you have to argue as again as much as it's clear that he's not been consistent enough. He's still one of our best players this season, in my opinion. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I give Gallagher an 8, but I realize majority gave him a 6. As that when I voted, Gallagher has made a lot of progress, and yeah, he has to be the manager's. To me, from what we've seen, given the pattern to the manager's player selection, he has to be one of Pochettino's most important players, in my opinion. Yeah, and that's not me saying he's my favorite player. Why does Poch use the subs so late and unnecessarily? I don't know, but that's besides the topic today. The main reason we don't win a low blocks is because we were not scoring goals. Yeah, it just sounds as if actually we've actually improved against low blocks, but haven't been clinical. If we have to go back to those games we've lost, the ones we've drawn, we created more chances in most cases. In all honesty, now that we score goals, it should be different. We create chances a lot. with low blocks but no goals. So maybe, yeah, maybe the next game we play against a low block team will be the outcome will be different. But we'll find out soon. Sterling was 615, but after breaking his line, 7 games of record against Man City, he goes up to 6.75. Cannot give him more because majority of games was really bad. Here's the thing, I think he's actually performed in some of the you can say toughest games we've played this season, in my opinion. If you look at it, and against City, I think he was rebound. He looked a new player against Manchester City. Wow, nutmegs, multiple nutmegs actually, and all that. He was a different player on the day. I couldn't believe that I was watching Raheem Sterling of old. But that's why I think it makes sense. But I think we'll use the poll to decide that, and we'll still look at his numbers. Poch use of subs. I think timing worries you. I'll highlight that. We'll talk about his use of subs. That has actually improved of late. In the last 2 games, the subs he's made has worked for us. I thought Poch made a perfect sub against City. Yeah, even against, you could argue even against Tottenham, he made this. His substitutions were perfect in my opinion. But we'll talk more about that. Just let me put up a poll for Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling after week 12. Let's see what you think. We have a 6. Okay, a 6, a 7, 8. Let's go with 8.5. Nobody gets a 9. Maybe, yeah, 8.5, maybe 7.5. I think we should go with 7.5 too. 7.5, and then an 8. Yeah, it depends on the player in question, but let's go. Sterling for me, I think he's done well. I get it, he's not been consistent enough, but I think that changed. We were waiting for him to go 6 games underperforming, and then on when we get to the 7th game, that's when we expect him to perform. And by the way, it was Constantine Dante who designed that theory or brought that theory. You could say, you can say he constructed that theory. Yes, against City, subs were better finally. Maybe the manager is still, you can say, getting acquainted with the players and now knows what each player is capable of doing. Unlike you could say when we were still 2 or 3 games into the season. What's up to you two? You look like a Man City player. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. So let's look at Raheem Sterling numbers here. Let's go. That's where we'll have it. This one here. We go back here and find Raheem Sterling. Where's he? Okay, there you go. Raz, they call him. Once again, yeah, okay, there you go. We have Raheem Sterling here, and let's look at his numbers here. Per 19 minutes. It goes 0.28. Expected goals on target is 0.37. Non-penalty XC 0.28. A shot 2.18. A shot on target is 0.73. So yeah, okay. Let's see. Assists 0.09 per 90 minutes. Expected assist 0.16 per 90 minutes. Successful passes 23.52 per 90 minutes. A pass accuracy 78.5 per 90 minutes. Not bad. Not bad at all. Accurate long ball 0.09. Long ball accuracy 50%. Not bad, but I expect more. Chances created 1.36 per 90 minutes. Successful crosses 0.54 per 90 minutes. Cross accuracy 18.2%. That's a really poor in my opinion. Successful dribbles 2.63 per 90 minutes. Dribble success 43.3, but it's a high if you're going just by per 90 minutes, but the percentage is 43.3. That's poor really. Even when Sterling you can say emerges as the, you can say as the man of the match, I'd still argue if you check his dribble success rate, it still be under 50%. That's something he's never been good at. Cross accuracy, we've looked at that. Dribble success, we've looked at that. Touches 52.49 per 90 minutes. Touches in opposition box 10.08 per 90 minutes. Dispossessed 1.82 times per 90 minutes. Yeah, we know that before time. Fouls 2.09. Penalties awarded 0.18 per 90 minutes. I think 2 in total from him. Correct me if I'm wrong. For us, overall. Tackles 0.54 per 90 minutes. Tackle success rate, 54.5%. At both 50%. That's a high for an attacking player. Duels 5.81. Duels percent 43.5. That's poor, really. Not up to 50%. Aerial duels 1, we know this. Here's something that's very obvious about with Raheem Sterling. If in the ball, if in the ball, if the ball is in the air, just forget about it. Forget about Raheem Sterling controlling the ball. It will take him 1,000 years to get a ball that comes to him, and not when the ball is not on the it's not on the carpet. Yeah, it takes him 1,000 years to get it under control, unfortunately, and I don't know why that is. He just gets confused the moment once the ball is not on the carpet. Coach White, why are you cornering and not giving 6.5 option for Sterling? Heston.
Can I say something in defense of Raheem Sterling?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you.
You know, I think yet again this comes back to my point about Chelsea being a victim of their injury list.
Uh-huh.
Raheem Sterling was never meant to be the guy in the capacity with which we've been forced to use him. We've been forced to rely upon him as an Eden Hazard. And to that extent, he's tried his best. Let's put it that way. In some games, he's proved to be that guy. In other games, he's been wanted. So I don't really hold that too much against him. Raheem Sterling needs to be in a team that works. He needs to be in a team that's complete, and he's not had that. That's why I believe he will get even better. If Nkunku comes and does what he's supposed to, what his profile and what his price, well, I wouldn't say so much his price tag, but what his profile says he's to do. If Amanda Broja gets fit and we have the full complement of our striking options and our midfield options, then we will start to appreciate Raheem Sterling much, much more, because he'd be able to slot in to this team that's very functional and be able to get the sort of goals that he got against Man City, which is a typical type of goal he got playing for Man City, that sort of far post tapping. So to that extent, I think we need to be fairer to Raheem Sterling, and perhaps say that because of the injuries, we put a little bit too much on his plate, and he's struggled to deal with that level of reliance, for want of a better word. That's it.
Yep. Yeah, thank you so much, Bobby. What I can now redo the poll. Sorry, so we're gonna start adding 7.5. Coach, you needed to trademark. Yeah, okay, okay, maybe I'll do that. So you're saying I say that a lot. Apparently, whatever you said, I saying I am currently I'm actually a huge Chelsea fan. My a friend made me do that for what you say. That sorry to hear that. Got a deep though. All right, see you next time. I hope you to see you next time. Back again. Big up, folks. Chimera, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. And Blue Tiff again. Much love to you, brother. Big up, Coach. The poll don't lie. You could argue that. You could argue that the poll don't lie. That's why sometimes when we use the poll, but here's the thing. Let's say if we're talking about a predicted lineup, I don't trust the poll. If we're doing predicted lineup, if you try to use the poll to decide what player starts in a particular position, usually you get an outcome driven by people's, you could say, opinions. Yeah, driven by people's opinion, because people don't even pay attention to the fact you've told them that it's a predicted lineup. We're trying to predict the most likely line, starting 11 that the manager will use for a particular game. People just want a certain player to start in certain places, and they don't pay attention to what you think. But this is different. When you're talking about a player's performance, I think, again, you can say somewhat an issue, because people usually pay more attention to eye test, and they don't like to try to justify what they've seen with the numbers. They just go with the eye test alone, and sometimes the eye test can be deceiving, in my opinion. But big up to you. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. So post online maybe if you're looking for people's opinion. 7.5 for Sterling. His dangerous runs and his positioning is just class. Something I have to say, give him credit for in terms of positional sense. He makes excellent runs. The biggest issue I have with Raheem Sterling is that I've always argued that, given how experienced he is, given he's one of the most experienced players at the club right now, he should lead by example, and he hasn't done that consistently. And his dribble success rate has always been an issue, and sometimes you can argue he tries to dribble unnecessarily, and that doesn't help. And if you're watching just quickly, for some reason you're not able to participate in the chat, we appreciate you, because that's it's simple. You participating does go a long way. But we urge you to please do us one favor, one tiny video favor, which is to take a second and drop a like on the stream for us. We'd really appreciate that. Yeah, we have 29 likes, and I think we should be doing better than that. It's an international break, I guess. I get it, and we're not a big we're not, well, you can say one of the big accounts yet. Yeah, the views drop quite a lot. The views do drop, especially after you can say nothing much is going on in terms of transfers. So people aren't that much interested in non-transfer related topics. Some people aren't. A lot of people aren't, actually. So let's hear you here. The poll definitely lies sometimes. Yeah, you can argue. I think you say you and I think we agree. Sometimes the poll can lie. Let's see. I am going to have to report that poll. Yeah, Sterling is inconsistent and nothing over 7. I think I'll give him a 7. And I would even 7.5 wouldn't be bad, but I'll just go with a 7. Beautiful and Chimera, hi guys. But let's see what the poll produces. An 8, not bad. Yeah, nice to see you, Eugene. I hope you're doing well. What else do we have here? Coach, maybe you should do a poll on Koulibaly's success at Chelsea. Just go away. Just go away. Look at you trying to pull my legs. At Chelsea, then you would see if the poll really lies or not. I think the poll lies. I think it lies. And I've given you the example. If you're trying to predict a lineup and you use the poll, you will end up selecting 11. You can say an 11 driven by people's opinions, and not really what the manager would do in the upcoming game. For lack of a better language. So let's move on from Raheem Sterling. I think I'll let the poll run for a while. We'll have 11 votes, and it's been up for 11 minutes. 45% thinks he deserves an 8. 27% thinks he deserves a 7.5, and another 27% thinks he deserves a 6 is fitting for Raheem Sterling, and yeah, nobody thinks a 7 is fitting, but 6.6. 7.5 and 8.5, but right now, 45% I think and 8 will be fitting for Raheem Sterling's performance so far after week 12. Let's see, Eugene. This says, do those orange red lines lie? I don't know. Yeah, waffle indeed. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. So let's see if you don't think Raheem Sterling deserves an 8, whatever you think, explain the reason there. We're using a poll, and I think we're going to stick with the poll. So let's wait for outcome of the poll for Raheem Sterling. Cole Palmer, we start with Cole Palmer here. Okay, Bobby, before we read Cole Palmer's, we'll look at his numbers. How would you rate him? His last start, you could say, yeah, I think it'd be right to call it his start to life at Chelsea. Let's hear you, Bobby.
There's a lot of accolades to Cole Palmer, and rightly so.
Mm,
Um, Based on the accolades, you've got to give him something like 9.5. But I'm very cautious about this overpraising players. He has been excellent. That make no bones about it. He has been excellent, considering his age, considering his contribution to the team, and in many parts of the game, he has been that guy that has been carrying the team. So we've got to give him his flowers to that extent. However, I become cautious, and I will rate him an 8, and just keep an eye on things. I would like a situation where the media is less involved in the progression of this young player. I never feel comfortable about our media. I always think they're up to something, and as much as they build you up is as much as they will tear you down. So he's done well.
Mhm.
He's done excellently well, but though the level of praise being thrown at him puts him upwards of 9, but I'll give him an 8.
you give him an 8. If you're in the chat, let's hear you, Cole Palmer. How would you rate him? This particular stat says start compared to other attacking midfielders and wingers at Chelsea. I think at Chelsea specific. For chances created, he's in 67%. I think he will. I think he will end up topping that table, in my opinion. For aerial duels, 2%. He's a tall kid. He hasn't gotten involved in that in terms of aerial duels. Defensive contributions at 25% compared to other Chelsea players. Goals 87%, and that's even he hasn't played that much. 89% shots attempted, and touches 84%. Okay, but let's go to nitty gritty, specific to him. We go by 90 minutes here. Wow, already it's looking good. Everything, nearly everything is green. Nearly everything is green for Cole Palmer there. Goals per 90 minutes 0.60, and expected goals 0.73. XG on target 0.883. Penalty goals 0.60. Yep. I think the 4 goals in total, all penalties. Yep. Yep. That's non-penalty XG 0.26. He's had some opportunities, some good opportunities, and were good, close to scoring in some of them. Shots 2.83. Shots on target 1.19. Passing assists 0.30. Expected assists 0.28. Successful passes 4.10. Pass accuracy 83.7. And it's not like he opts for several options like going backwards or sideways. I think it's been excellent. Accurate long balls 2.98. Wow. Yeah, long ball accuracy are above 50%, 66.7. That's excellent. Chances created 2.08 per 90 minutes. Yeah, that's excellent. Successful crosses 0.30, cross accuracy 15.3. All our players are actually maybe reach are poor in terms of cross accuracy. Yeah, so that's nothing new there. Successful dribbles 1.19 per 90 minutes. Dribble success rate still below 50%. You can argue that's poor. Touches 69.47. Touches in opposition box 4.17 per 90 minutes. Dispossessed at least 2.3 times per 90 minutes. You can say that's still I'm not sure what to make of that number. You can say poor, really. Fouls won 1.9 per 90 minutes. Not bad. Defending tackles 0.60 per 90 minutes. Tackles 1%, 80%. Wow. That's huge for an attacking player. Duels won 3.12 per 90 minutes. Duels 1%, 35%. That's poor. Interceptions, yep, 0.89 per 90 minutes. Yep, interceptions. You could argue he's done well in terms of that because he's had he's one ball on 2 occasions. defend. You can say I want to call that defensive action. Maybe it counts. In the attacking area on 2 occasions, is one ball that's led to us scoring goals. Blocked 0.60. Recoveries 4.61 per 90 minutes. Not bad. Possession 1 in the final third. That's the aspect I was referencing. His 1 possession in the final third. On 2 occasions, we've scored from them. I think he's an intelligent player and reads the game very well. Dribbled past 0.60 per 90 minutes. Discipline, yellow cards 0.45 per 90 minutes. So he has 1 yellow card, right, for trying to damage the penalty spot against Manchester City. For me, this kid, let's look at this again. The speed at which you can say he's climbing the ladder since joining Chelsea. Look at it here. Let me see. Cole Palmer, he has 4 goals. I get it all from the spot. Assists, he's also second right now with 2 assists. Second on the table because Conor Gallagher has 4. And there's something else he's topping in here. Let me see which one. Expected goals 4.9. Yeah, goals per 90 minutes. All from the penalty spot. We get it. Let's see anything else important here. Shots also 1.2 per 90 minutes. That's huge, really. And big chances created. His 5. He's on par with Rhys James in that department. So I think he's quickly climbing the ladder and probably will start. You can say will lead in many of these stats department in no distant time, in my opinion. Expected assist is 1.9 per 90 minutes. He's overtaking Raheem Sterling and Enzo Fernandez in that department. So he's doing really well, honestly. But let's hear your opinion on Cole Palmer. Possession 1 in the final third. We're seeing that per 90 minutes, 1.8, followed by Conor Gallagher 1.7. Not surprising there. Wow. He's really, really progressing quickly up the ladder, in my opinion. Let's hear you. I give a 6 for Sterling. 2 games is not enough. You can say he's not been consistent, but I'll give him credit for the last 2, actually 3 games, actually, in my opinion. Let's say except for that one we lost, but I think he's speaking. Let's see if he can if it be consistent for a change. People must have a short memory, yet 8 for last 2 games. Yeah, that's why the risk of using the poll. And you've heard me talk about that. I think the most I'll give him is 7.5. I said 6.5 for Sterling, Eugene. Yep, I recall that. Thank God we have a sensible panelist. Big up, Bobby. Let's see. Mitchell Boy is back in the house again. I will give 9 for Palmer. Little credit for him because I was completely wrong about him when we signed him. Oh yeah, and thank you for being truthful, Eugene. I recall you didn't want us. I think a lot of people with the you can say would have preferred us signing Kudus. But boy, I think he's a better player than Kudus in my opinion. But that's just me. But let's see what else we have. You keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Palmer, impressive. 8.75. Do you have to actually go by pennies, or how do I phrase it? Palmer 8.5 would give him a 9, but missed a couple of sitters, and also should have more assists. Final ball lacked a couple of times as well. And this is a player who you say he joined us not long ago. Yeah. And for me, I said I'll go for an 8 for Palmer, but that's just my opinion. And God of Frost saying why is Casado a 7? Gallagher has outperformed him. We used the poll. If I rate the players, you can say alone, I think you'd be looking at a different rating for each of the players that are on the board. I guess you could call it the board, but that's just me. I didn't just decide that Palmer loses 1 point for giving the ball away last night for England, right? England were terrible last night. Let's see what else we have here. Worst game ever. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. 32 likes. We should be doing better than that. So let's use the poll. Yep. We have 15 votes, and 40% thinks Raheem Sterling deserves an 8. Probably going, but that's a performance against Manchester City. So let's go with what the poll thinks. Let's give him an 8 and 15 votes. Not a bad sample size. But let's do Cole Palmer. Let's see what the rating people thinks he deserves. So if you dispute any of the rating for any of the players on the board here or on the pitch on the screen, let me know. Then we'll do a poll to see if anything changes there. So I'm going to ask this question: Cole Palmer after week 12. Cole Palmer after week 12. Let's go. Let's do it. So I go. I will even start with a 7, 8, 7.5, 7.5. Then I'll go one more. I'll go with an 8. Let's leave it at that. Let's hear you. What you have to say there. This is saying, big up everyone. My pleasure to be back. And the Prince is here. Nice to see you, the Prince. I hope you're doing well. Charwell rating should be 0. There's only 110 in our European, and that's Rhys James. Yeah, look at what people think he deserves a 7.5. But if you dispute it, if I see 1, 2, 3 people dispute his rating, but the fact that he's been out injured, I don't think you just rate him based on a single game or 2 games. Absolute rating 5. Keep dropping. Let's see how you walking out 8 for Sterling. So 40%. So 40%. Yeah, 8, but 60% lower. I don't know. Oh my goodness, that's interesting. Really, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with Coach. Why are you putting Cole Palmer 7 in poll, and 8.5 on 9? Should I change it? Do you want me to change it? I mean, if you argue I should change it, I will. Coach, you have 2 8s in the poll. Do I really? Okay, let me change it again. Yep, I did. Yeah, so let me change it. Just give me a second here. Close this. Start the poll. So let's do it. Cole Palmer after week 8. After week 12, so to speak. So we're gonna go. Should we start with a 6? Okay, let's start 7. 7.5. Then we'll go 8. And then we'll go 8.5. Let's I don't know. Let's just go 9. I think I'll force. Let's go 8.5. He's not been perfect really. 7, 8. Let's go 8.5. Let's just go 8 there and go on 9. I think if he gets a 9, I think he deserves it. I think he's been excellent in my opinion. But let's go with this. 7, 7.5, 8, and 9. Let's go with that. But let's hear you. They're saying that the rating are skewed because Gallagher is statistically our best player. Here's the thing: if you've been listening, I think you heard I said this that the fact if you use a poll, it skews the whole thing. Let's just use that language skew because in statistics that is used quite a lot. If you use the poll, the rating gets skewed. You understand? The rating gets skewed in the sense that you see people's opinion differ, and people don't back their rating of a player up with the numbers because they say numbers don't lie. And the truth remains, if we go by number, if we go by statistics, Gallagher technically will be, you can say, the highest rated player. Yeah, but I'm not rating it alone. And we've looked at the overall stats for the player. Every department, he tops in about 3 departments at least. He's a top, as he again, top assist is Gallagher. There are other numbers that we're not going to go into right now. But the truth remains, we're not the panelists and rating the players alone. We use the poll sometimes to come to a conclusion. And in most cases, the poll is driven by people's opinion, not facts. But yeah, I agree with you. If we go by numbers, Yeah, Gallagher should be one of the highest, you can say, top-rated players here. But we don't go by numbers alone. We'll let people participate in the rating. If I want to do a player's rating independently, like alone, I would do it. And believe me, it will not be anything close to what you're looking on the screen here. Looking at on the screen here, in my opinion. So yeah, you're right to use the term skewed. It's just it's a term used a lot when doing statistics. Yeah, but that's by the way. We'll move on. What else do we have here? The Sassi has been a shaky at the back. Unsure what he did to earn an 8. I think you're basing your judgment of you can say eye test alone. But let's see, Coach. What rating would you give to Koulibaly? His stay at Chelsea, I'll go with 7.5. Yeah, he wasn't as bad as a lot of people were making it out to be. It's just that at the time we had you can say a poor team, had an awful run of games, losses here and there, and after every game, people were looking for for players to, you can say, to blame for the losses. And at the time, well, our defensive line didn't have proper protection, and it was easy to blame Koulibaly. I'll give him a 7.5 for his overall Chelsea performance. And remember, he did very well for us in Europe, actually. But that's why we're moving from that. But don't ask me such question again, because you just wanted to put me on the spot. Who would give Palmer a 7? Yeah. People don't know minerals. That's what's up. Let's have it right. A long way from a Starbucks. Yeah. Gallagher is God of Frogs. I, I think I know how much he loves it, so I'm not surprised with regards to his argument. We should play with just one in midfield or Casado. Both together are not good against a low block. Here's the thing. I think I agree. Playing with a single six, in my opinion, one will suffice, and then add one more player to the attacking area. Here's the thing, but the truth remains, the approach is we play with two sixes. One is usually charged to be more disciplined than the other, while the other has the independence to be wherever they deem fit on the pitch. And yeah, probably you could say the second six is usually a hybrid of 8 and 6. They don't sit. So the application is what you pay attention to. You're saying, Coach, trying best to miss the tapping in to get the score. Just go away. I asked that question earlier, Eugene. Who you choose? Yeah, let's hear you. Coach, I want to ask, what could be the possible punishment for Chelsea? We'll have a show scheduled for later today. We will talk about it. And believe me, whatever you hear from anybody, just see it as that person's opinion. We don't know what the FA would do. Chances are they are just, you can say, they are the Everton's punishment is just designed to set a precedent so that they'll punish us and Man City even more. But I don't know. But we've moved beyond that topic. Join us later in the evening, your time, when we discuss that. Yeah, 7.5 in my opinion. His entire stay at Chelsea. Coach, I am a marble in full sarcasm, humor mode. Just go. Coach is to Koulibaly what Johnny is to Mason Mount. Nah. No, 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 no. No, no, no. You don't want to do that. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, anything else? Nothing else here. So we go. We've done Raheem Sterling, and people think he deserves an Ed Cole Palmer. People think he deserves whew, yeah, he deserves a 9. Wow, 56%, and that's 9 votes in total. Not bad. I think I'll give him the 9. 9 votes, not bad, given how many people we have watching. That's not a bad sample size. We still have a few more players. Yep, the French players, maybe, for lack of a better language. Nicholas Jackson. Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of his case. Bobby, let's hear you. Nicholas Jackson, how would you rate him so far this season, or to be specific, after week 12? After week 12, yep. And if you're in the chat, while we wait for Bobby, let's hear you. Your rating for Nicholas Jackson and why. right, Nicholas Jackson. I think a 6 needs to be there. A 7, mhm. An 8. Uh, yeah, maybe 6.5. Let's go with 6.5 there. 6.5. Okay, do a 7, then do a 7.5. Yeah, but you can say this is also driven by my opinion. 6.5, 7, and 7.5. Let's go for that. I don't think he deserves an 8. Okay, Bobby, it looks like you were kicked out. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 32 likes. That's not bad,
Yeah,
given that. Yeah, yeah. Let's say
yeah. So
Nicholas Jackson. How would you rate him, Bobby?
yeah, sorry, because I'm on my phone. I was doing something in the background and then I lost you. Yeah,
Hmm.
Nicholas Jackson. That's another difficult one, coach. Very difficult one, if you ask me. What can I say? Nicholas Jackson, first season at Chelsea, 22 years old. Yeah, he hasn't ripped up trees yet. He needs time. He needs to get used to the Premier League. He needs to get used to the players around him. The players around him need to get used to him. Um, he's got 6 goals in how many appearances, which, is not a bad return. Yeah, people will say 3 of those goals came against nine-man Spurs. I think that's disingenuous. If you look at the top goal scorers like Haaland, Ronaldo in his time when he was clocking up 50 goals and so on, a lot of the goals came from charitable teams. A lot of the goals came from penalties and tap-ins and so on and so forth. Look, Nicholas Jackson, a developing player. I love me a developing player, a player that I think has a lot of qualities that a lot of the fan base don't really appreciate. As usual, we're spoilt. We live off the end product and nostalgia, and we forget that the road to Jericho has a few bumps. Look, I'll give this kid 7.5. It's not the greatest. It's not in terms of scores. It's not the worst. I hope it's an encouraging score, and it's a score to me that indicates there's more to come, and the more to come will be positive.
Yeah, for me, I think a 7.5 isn't bad. I'll go with a 7.5 also. Here's the thing: we have to consider the fact that he's still very young. He's new in a new country also, and he's done quite well. He's done quite a lot right. Had he been clinical in front of goal, he'd have at least 12 goals right now. But despite of it, he's making the right runs or decisive runs, and his thing, he's just not been as clinical. But that has changed actually, and I don't care. I get it. He scored a 3 against a um, nine-man Tottenham. But the truth remains, all the players on the pitch on the day had opportunities to score goals too, and they didn't score. And he scored a hat trick. And in how many minutes? And people should also consider, the time, we can say time between the goals. It was like 3 goals in how many? I don't think it took him. I'm not sure. I don't just want to put. I do not want to pull numbers out of my wazoo and throw it at people. But it was towards the end of the game that he scored 3 goals. And his first hat trick, and he scored a hat trick. And Rashford, since he's been in the Premier League, don't have one either. Hoyland haven't scored that much since this season after they spent that much money on him. But my point is, yeah, he could have done better, but give him credit for how well he's done so far. No need to look back and saying he's been missing quite a lot. Give him credit. He's picked up form. Yeah, I think a 7.5 would be the perfect rating for him. He deserves that, in my opinion. Yeah, let's go for 7.5. And if you are in the chat, I'd like you to mention any other player you think we should rate right now. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Yeah, tell them we don't have Paquita. I would love to see this poll after Jackson backs a brace versus Newcastle United. That would be mad. I hope he scores against Newcastle United. The international break, you could say, put a halt to our momentum. I hate the international break so much. Every time you think we picked up
Sorry,
form,
coach.
boom, it comes around. Yeah.
As you're talking, I'm with you 100%. But
Mhm.
if you call me and and I break, I'll come back in because I'm working in the background on my phone. Sometimes that
Okay.
happens, just to give you the heads up.
All right, no problem, bro. I appreciate that. So if you're interested, suggest again a player that you'd like us to rate, and I'll take it from you. Let's see. Yeah, I'd like to see that too. The Blues, are you still? You guys are fighting, right? Okay, thank you, Bobby. Let's see what the Blue Tiffle game has to say. I seriously think I seriously think his troubles are behind him. Chances that that's the case. That's the case. But here's the thing: sometimes he does some stuff that comes across as if he's a bit clumsy. But here's the thing: one thing I like about him, he's technically gifted. He's highly technically gifted, in my opinion. He's good on the ball, a good dribbler. And during preseason, he showed actually is not selfish, and I like that in players. So when he's not scoring, he's capable of creating scoring chances for his teammates. And but that changed a bit. Maybe the manager asked him to be a bit more selfish so that he can get goals and then go from there. But I like him really. He says no cap. When his brother and Kunko returns, it's going to be a trouble for everyone. Toe to toe with CT cannot be praised enough. We actually played better. I haven't stopped watching that game. There's hardly a day that's passed since that game that I haven't watched it up to 3 times because I knew we were going to do well against them because I knew before then they weren't going to defend deep. But I didn't know we were going to do as well as we did on that day. And had it not been for, you can say, a sloppy defending and also the deflection, the penalty, yeah, they it was just you can say they were lucky. It was a draw, but for me, it still feels like a win, and I'll take it. That's a serious confidence booster for the players. I agree with you. He's a fine player. I think he'll become better. And what I urge the manager, if there's any chance he's listening to this show, if he is by any chance listening to this show, is that just let Jackson be Jackson. Jackson is not a traditional number 9, and please don't try to mold him into one. If you try to mold him into one, he's gonna falter. But if you let Jackson be Jackson, just find a way to accommodate him the way he plays. Believe me, you get the best out of him. And we did see that during preseason. He likes to drop deep, and when that's the case, it just you can say when the more we become more well rehearsed. You can say the better he becomes because if he drops deep, then one of his attacking teammates will take up his space, and that's what we call fluidity, or maybe liquid, like what's his name would call it, liquid football, like Glenn would prefers to call it. So in my opinion, just let Jackson be Jackson. I think he would do well for us. Even if we end up signing a traditional number 9, he has a place in this team. And for me, he's more of the type of number 9 that Mauricio Pochettino likes to have in his team. But that's just me. But thank you for that. Let's see, a 7 for Jackson, which is average, would be higher if he didn't miss easy chances. Yeah, you still consider that. But you can say he did every other thing right in those games, made the right runs in behind opposition defensive lines. There's something in all honesty, I have to say this. There's something that I think lacks in his game. That instinct of a poacher, the instinct you want to see, the instinct you could say lacking in his game. You could say is the sole reason why many people are calling for us to sign a traditional number 9, or more. Let me just use the term a more traditional number 9, because Jackson doesn't look like he's a poacher. No, he scores goals that are more difficult than the easiest of goals. He misses them. That's one thing. You could say, yeah, you could argue. Yeah, I don't think he doesn't have that instinct of a poacher. Goals sometimes, but he did well against Man City for pouncing on that rebound from the goalkeeper. I think with time, maybe the manager would drill. You could say drill that into him, and with time he becomes even better. And yeah, that will certainly be the case because he's just 22. Yeah, but he's an excellent player. You don't find too many attackers who are as good as Jackson has proven to be on the ball, in my opinion. Yeah, but I think 7.5 for me. But let's see how the poll ends. Jackson, a 6 by Chimera. Chimera don't like him. A 9 for Palmer feels a bit like overhyped. Here's the thing. I'm gonna say something that somebody have said here on the panel before. The bar is low right now. The bar is low, but that's not saying that the Palmer hasn't been good. He's been excellent, and he's quickly climbing the ladder of statistics. Yeah, if there's anything like that, see how quickly he's become. I think let's look at it again. Let me not just pull numbers out of my wazoo and throw it on you. Palmer tops possession one in the final third. On 2 occasions, he's per 90 minutes. Those again were scored from those. One, Raheem Sterling put it away. One, he won possession and passed it to Amanda Bro, and he scored a goal for us on that day. I think he won that particular game by 3 goals to nothing. Palmer also, wait a second, again, Palmer also in terms of XG plus assists, expected XG, expected goals and expected assists per 90 minutes, 1.01 above Nicholas Jackson. And Palmer also here expected assists per 90 minutes, 1.9. There's one table that he's topping. Yep, big chances created, 5. He's on par with that. Again, in that department, he's on par with Reece James. But that's not easy. Even though he's just joined us, see how quickly he's climbing the ladder of important numbers for us. Shots per 90 minutes is behind Nicholas Jackson. And what else? Is he topping any other department? Second in terms of shots on target per 90 minutes, behind Nicholas Jackson also. Expected goals on target per 90 minutes, behind Nicholas Jackson also. XG per 90 minutes, behind Nicholas Jackson. So he's quickly climbing the ladder. Yeah, he's doing well. Assists, he has 2 in total. Only behind Conor Gallagher, who has 4 in total. So Palmer, I think he's done well, really. I think he deserves a 9. And the bar, let me just say this, the bar is low, but that's not me saying that Palmer is not a good player. He's an excellent player. More importantly, an intelligent footballer. So I think he deserves a 9. Let's see what else we have here also. He just needs to get out of his own head and he will be fine. I think you're talking about Nicholas Jackson. I think if that's the case, I agree with you. Coach didn't give us 8.5 option for Palmer. Here's the thing. I think even if I have 8.5, I think Palmer will still score a 9, in my opinion. But now you're trying. You've been challenging. All you're doing today is just find a way to find fault in everything that I've done today as the host. Just go away, man. Siaka, South Africa. Greetings, guys. At Chelsea perspective, I can foresee Chelsea FC winning cup a trophy soon. I hope so. We have the opportunity to win the cup game. Except I'm not too sure what's going to happen with regards to what sort of measure of punishment we face from the FA. There's no telling right now, but I'm quite sure relegation isn't one. Even you could argue points deduction will not be one. Maybe a monetary fine, because the owners, they have enough money to sue to challenge whatever again if they don't like the measure of punishment that the FA decides to wield. But we'll find out. I don't think it belongs, but let's wait and see. Thank you for finding the time to join us. So one more player here, Broya, he's played. So let's add Broya and rate Amanda Broya. And Bobby, if you're there, how would you rate Amanda Broya's after week 12 in the Premier League? I think I'd give him I'd give him a 6. That's because he's been out injured, but whenever he gets a chance to play, you can say he's done well, except that game where he was substituted and Jackson came on for him and scored. But before that injury, he scored. What game was that? He scored from that after Cole Palmer won the ball in the opposition half. He did well on that day, even though he was rusty but he still did okay overall. After that, then yeah, against Man City, he did well. The calmness. He wasn't in a hurry to shoot on the day. He controlled the ball perfectly, which displays who was it that was on him on the day. And as he tried to shoot, they brought him down, and that led to us getting the chance to draw the game. And the game ended 4-all for Chelsea, for City 4. But let's hear you. How would you rate Amanda Broya so far after week 12? Let's hear you, Bobby.
Yeah, I think you're right. Amanda Broja, it's injuries that's destroying his game, isn't it? I'm going to go straight up and give him 5.5, simply because we haven't seen anything of him. Yes, he came on and he scored. Fortuitous, but that's what, it was a pure striker's goal.
Mm-hmm.
He came on and he won us a penalty. That's why he's just gone off average. But, this constantly not being available. Um, the best ability is availability, isn't it? That's the word going out.
More importantly,
We
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think we have to give our reference kudos to Monster for that. But yeah, the best ability is availability, and he's not available, so we can't really give him much ratings. So I'll give him 5.5. I'm hoping and praying he stays fit because I think he's going to be the answer to a lot of our striking issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a good player in him, but the fact
Oh,
is
for
he
sure.
hasn't played that much this season. I don't think he deserves too much too much rated. Go ahead, Bobby. Were you saying
Okay,
something?
I just want to add a taste to what's to come. I know you don't like it because you're preparing your show, and hopefully I'll be there to elaborate. But this talk of the fine of the points deduction of Everton, and people
Mm-hmm.
are now talking Chelsea and Man City. I have mountains to say about Man City, as you know. However, I have to drop this in there. As far as any punishment of what the old regime, old ownership has done, people need to remember that Chelsea have had quite some punishment already. That regime had to sell the club and not take any profit out of it. The club was prevented from trading for months building up to the sale. And there were various travel embargoes laid upon the former ownership. So if you ask me, if I was a lawyer arguing any case, I would say that has to be taken into consideration. It's like people that are about to have a trial, and when they are incarcerated prior to the trial, it is it is deducted from their sentencing. And I think that's a very, very strong argument to raise. I just thought I'll drop that there.
Thank you so much, Bobby. Great to see you too, Siaka. Nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join us. 6 for Broya, but not enough games for a vote, really. But we should consider him, his score. We should at least consider the fact that he's gotten the opportunity to play. But his first appearance on the Mauricio Pochettino, he looked rusty. Still did well. I don't know why Enzo has a 7.5, but only thing I know, if he plays aside some, at least one midfielder aside him who is good on the ball, he will be even better. We didn't appreciate that we used to poll, but if I rated the Ken Houston 7.5, I think it's a good rating for him. I think so. I would rate him an 8. If I did that part alone, I would rate him an 8. But I'd say 7.5 isn't bad. If you were here and listen to the argument as to why he deserves a 7.5, I think you'd agree too. Yeah, he's had clear-cut chances to put to score goals, and he hasn't, and he didn't. And the truth remains, I think 7.5 is a fitting rating for Enzo, in my opinion. But unfortunately, you weren't here to listen to the arguments, even Constantine Dante on the day. Would you take Rafinha from Barca this coming window? I would say no, and here's why. Rafinha for me is too one-sided, one-dimensional. For I think that's the best language to use. And we have what's his name? Angelo Gabriel, who's on loan at Strasbourg. He's a much better player, a more intelligent player, more of a creator than Rafinha is. Rafinha too one-dimensional that I predict whenever he's again involved in the game. It's always him cutting back in if he's playing on the right hand side and taking a shot with his left foot. But Angelo Gabriel has more to his game. He's into 1-2 quick plays where he gives you the ball and make a move in anticipation that you will give the ball back to him. And before the ball gets to him, he's already planned out what he's going to do next with it. He's not into trying to cut back in. And he does it every now and then on occasions, but he's more into looking, reading the game, and finding who makes the move and passing the ball, creating clear-cut chances for him. During preseason, I think he could have had at least two assists, but Sterling fluffed one of them. I forgot who fluffed one. So I'd say no to Rafinha. Plus, he's not going to come cheap. He will not come cheap. He's too one-dimensional for me, in my opinion. And what we're building something special. We don't need one-dimensional players anymore. We've dealt with Ziyech too, who was one-dimensional, probably maybe because we played him predominantly on the right-hand side. Ziyech is actually capable of fulfilling the number 10 role. But that's, by the way, Eugene, no assist or goals. I wouldn't, you could say, consider no assist that much, and that's because he created the chances in most cases, and those he created the chances for fluffed it and weren't clinical. Using no assist or goals, shooting poor, really, yes, great on the ball and helping us control the tempo of the game or not dictate the pace of the game and all that. But yeah, he's fluffed some clear-cut chances on the ball, but also not good defensively. Yeah, that's another point, especially in transition. Yep. That's a delicious comment. I can't believe I'm giving you credit even after you've been coming at me. So let's see. In as much as I don't want Temo back, I would prefer him to Rafinha. Big no to Rafinha. I don't want either of the two, but if I have to choose, I'll take Timo. But a good thing, I don't think we're getting any of them. Rafinha rumor, I think it was pushed by ESPN, and some are saying that's Barca sponsoring that narrative so that they see if we'd be interested in signing him and they get a sizable fee from us if we really want him. But I don't think we want him. No, I'd rather Angelo Gabriel, who's within the age bracket of players who sign these days, and also a much better player, in my opinion. Even if the FA could fine us, you will win in court. Plus, I think we have something, a solid argument to present in court. It happened on the previous owner would do things differently right now, and we self-reported the financial irregularities. So I think maybe that will lead to them being a bit lenient in terms of what measure of punishment we end up facing. But we'll do a show later in the day, and I'm going to share the link to that particular show again, please. And if you haven't, the link to our sister channel is pinned at the very top. We're getting closer to 1,000 subscribers. Right now we are at 928 subscribers. Around you can like 72, 72 more subscribers to get to 1,000 subscribers. You can help us get there as soon as possible. So if you're not subscribed, from Constantine Dante to Eugene to Kevin and to Siyaka, if you're not subscribed to our sister channel, please go check it out. And Constantine Dante, it's our take care, brother. Talk to you later. I hope you're doing well. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Much love to you, bro. See you next time. So we have Broya. Let's see what the poll is saying. 43% thinks he deserves a 6. I think a 6 is fine. But Bobby said 5.5. Even 5.5, it's actually would be a good rating for Broya. So let's go with let's just go with a 6 because 7 votes. I think Broya deserves a 6. I'll go with a 6. So let's go for Nani Mudryk. Yeah, let's go for Nani Mudryk and Mudryk. I think we'll end with Mudryk. Mudryk right there. There you go. For Nani Mudryk, for me, I don't think we have so much to you can say in terms of trying to decide what rating will be fitting for how he's done so far this season into week 12. Wow, that particular game when he played well, a lot of people were saying he was awful. Was it against what game was that? He yep, he produced a coiler that hit the goalpost, the woodwork. What game was that? I can't quite remember. I think that particular game, that was the last time he started. What happened on that day was that I think I think it was Chelsea Godfather that explained it very well that day. Was that at the right back on the day, which was Malagusto, wasn't making overlapping runs. So but and whenever he was Mudryk was on the ball and trying to make something happen, he had two, three players on him, and Gusto wasn't making the overlapping runs so that he can pass the ball to him and help him beat the defensive line, the players that were ganging up on him. That didn't happen that much, so it just seemed as if he was ineffective on the day. To me, that's a good player in him, and it's that's such a player that can actually help us deal with the teams that defend deep effectively. But unfortunately, he hasn't played that much, and you could argue he's been unlucky with injuries too. So for me, I'd rate Nani Madueke at 5.5. And before I go to Bobby, I'm gonna go to this the Bluetooth game. Yep, that's the link to our sister channel. Don't miss this show. I think it would be an excellent show. You don't want to miss it. We'll talk about how Man City's case, Everton's case, and Chelsea's case, how they differ, how they are different, and what we think, what we believe will be the most likely punishment that Chelsea will face, and City, the most likely punishment that will face. We'll do that later in the day, and I want all of you to be part of it. Yep, live at 8 p.m., and that's the link there, the particular show. Go drop a like on that particular show. Please don't miss it. And what is your sister channel called? It's called Soccer Perspective. It's pinned at the very top. If you, and that's the link there. That's the link to the sister channel. It's called Soccer Perspective. So go check it out, subscribe, and tell more people about it. We cover every club there. But thank you so much for asking, brother. I hope I'm pronouncing your name. Yes, Siaka. I hope I'm pronouncing my brother from the Madiba land. I don't think I want to rate Nani. He did not play enough, but he got a chance to play. He did not play enough to be eligible for a rating. Okay, maybe we'll go NA. Maybe during the next international break we'll rate him again. Let's just go NA. It makes sense. But if we read, I don't know. If we read Broy, I think we should rate him. I think for me, I'd just go with a 6 or maybe 5.5. Let's go with 5.5. But I think we should rate. We should rate. Let's rate Mudryk. Yeah, let's rate Mudryk. And I don't think it makes sense to rate Conor Chukwuemeka because he didn't play a role in week 12 at all. Yep, he did not play a role in week 12. But let's see, Bobby. Let's hear you. How about Mudryk? And Nani Mudryk, you can also talk about him, but we'll go to Mudryk.
You know, Mudryk is every little bit a developing player. Yet again, another one of those players that people are impatient with because they're looking at the finished article. This is, in every ramifications of the word, Chelsea is a project in the making. It is a project, whether we like it or not. And Mudryk is very much a part of that. And sometimes projects, evolutions take time. This kid is taking time in his evolution. We need to be patient. I don't think we've seen the best of him. We've seen snippets of him, of what he can do. My concern with him is that because of his pace, even if he was of a bigger size, the Premier League is a brutal league, and his pace will probably lead him to have niggles here and there, because defenders will target him. Managers will make sure that defenders target him, and I mean, what can you say? He is a good player. He is a player in development, and I think the best of him is yet to come. My ratings for him has to be a 7. It's generous, I know it could be less, but I'll stick with a 7 because he's in development and because when he's good, he's very, very good. When he's bad, at the moment, he's non-existent. Noni also hasn't really played much. It would be fair to rate him at this point. So, and he hasn't played much really out of not necessarily out of choice. Partly, some of it was discipline, most of it was injury. So I think you're quite right to put an NA at the moment for his name.
For Noni Madueke, right?
Yeah,
And for Mudryk, or how did you say your rating for Mudryk?
I gave him a 7.
Yeah, I think that's a fair rating. The 6.5 to 7, but I think I'm going to use poll for a poll for that one. For Madueke, not applicable, and Madueke didn't play that much in week 12, but yeah, Mudryk played in week 12, so he needs to be rated. But let's use the poll, and after that we'll round up, and hopefully another topic pops up, and people just know I'm going to put up a post with regards to that. I'll be traveling for Thanksgiving and will not be back until I think right before or maybe after our game against Newcastle United. It all depends, but I have to iron that out with my wife. So let's see. Let's go with Mudryk. Let's see how the people in the chat rates him. Mudryk after week 12. Yeah, Mudryk after week 12. Let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna go. Yeah, just two options there. I'm gonna go 5.5. Mudryk actually has two goals in total for us. Yep, yep. One against Arsenal and the other one against Superstar. 6 and 6.5. Yeah, so you can say everything he's been on the pitch. I think he's done well enough, but hasn't played consistently. So I'm not gonna. You can say count that against him. Yeah. Let's see what else we have here. Bobby was spot on with Mudryk, exactly what I think. Yep, he hasn't played that much, and he's still developing. And we're seeing flashes of what he's capable of doing, but he needs to play and play consistently. That will make a difference. But Bobby, let's hear you. And for go ahead, Bobby.
Was this Modric again?
Oh, okay, you've talked about Mudryk. Let's hear you about Ugochukwu. Let's look at Ugochukwu. Yeah, did we
Now
rate him the
this
other day?
is
I don't think we did.
this is a kid that's creeping into my favorites list.
Hmm.
I love his physicality. I think it's something we need desperately. I like the fact that he's a defensive midfield specialist, which is something we also need. His
Hmm.
physicality, his carriage, his comportment and composure reminds me very much of Emmanuel Matic. If he ever gets anything close to that level of performance, I think it will be nothing but a positive for us. Look, I like this kid. He's 19 years old. You know, people are expecting far too much from him. I think he has never let us down when he's put his foot on the pitch.
Hmm.
Yes, there's been the odd little show of inexperience here and there, but he's here to be part of the development. Pochettino is no fool. There's a reason he kept him back and kept him over Andre Santos and I think
Cesare
there's
Casade.
another. Yeah, Cesare Casade. You know, there's a reason he kept this kid, and the kid is very, very much, in my opinion, a part of the midfield rotation. Then we're going to have the people coming in. Oh, why is he on the bench? Oh, send him out on loan. The usual complainers. You have to rotate the team. Sometimes the best loan for a team is to loan within the squad and
Hmm.
learn within the squad and be in the squad. And he's in the right place, in my opinion. Look, a lot of players in that midfield will be looking over their shoulders, including Caicedo. Honestly, because whenever he comes on for Caicedo, he does it's not noticed. He can come on for any one of them, and you don't really notice it. Maybe because the coach uses it judiciously and wisely. Maybe because the kid's just that good. I'd rather think he's just that good. I think he's a threat in position for the midfield, certainly tactically, and certainly, please God, if we get European football, let it be the Champions League, he will definitely be more useful when he's more settled next season. Leslie, I'm going to give him a 7. I think there's more to come from him. I'm pleased with what I've seen so far. I'm glad he's in our squad, and long may his Chelsea career continue.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the 7-2. He's a good player. We've seen him play 90 minutes during cup games. But he needs to play consistently. Hopefully, he gets opportunity to play enough games to continue developing because he's still very young. Even Thierry Henry, who coaches, I think French's youth level that Ugochukwu is part of, he's starting to complain a bit about game time because he look, this kid actually played the whole season with I think it was Rennes. Played against the likes of Messi, Mbappe, and he did well, and he helped them achieve a European place. He's that good. But let's see. I think the chance will come for him, and I think he's capable of holding his own. And but let's see how soon that happens. A 7 isn't bad. I think I agree with that. Given that whenever he's gotten the chance to play for 90 minutes, he did very well. And I look forward to seeing him even more. With that, we've come to the end of the show. I think hopefully we'll find some other topic to discuss tomorrow before I travel. I think we'll still do one more show on Monday before I travel to for Thanksgiving. Be traveling to Texas. And we'll continue when we come back. But with that, I want to say thank you to Bobby for finding the time to join me on the panel. And thank you to Jerry Z, who was here also. It's been an excellent discussion. And I want to say thank you to Jude Mesola. Nice to see you, brother. Thank you to Siyaka. And thank you to my bro, the Blue, to forgive me. And thank you to Constantine Dante, Jesse, Jerry Z, all of you, Eugene. If I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. I'll see you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.